We're going live. Hello, and we are live, and it is a special Tuesday night broadcast of the Katie Halper Show, which means why? Because it's an emergency, and why is it an emergency? Because we have to speak truth to power, and we have to push back on this wretched piece of feminist, pseudo-feminist dreck, and I would like no one more to do this with. There's no one with whom I would more like to do this than Kate Levin, writer, writing instructor, labor organizer. Also, you may not know this, but she runs something very cool, and that is called the Dornsife Prison Education Project. She's the co-director of it. She's also been published in literary journals, and she won a pushcart, guys. A pushcart. That's a prize. That's not just something that you could give someone physically.
Nobody knows what that is.
What is a yeah.
I still wonder myself. I haven't received any cash prize or anything.
Yeah, but it's a big deal. It's a big deal. What's Kate Levin's handle? It's funny you asked that because I asked her that before. What is it?
If someone could figure that out, that would be amazing, because I've managed to not really get into Twitter.
Yeah, but you've been on it. I've tagged you in the past.
I have been on it, but I've largely taken a pass on it.
Right.
There are just some things you have to let go of, and that's one of them. But I think it might be.
There's an
Kate
underscore
Levin underscore. I think that's it.
Kate _Levin _. Okay, yeah, if that's true, yeah. So
either that's me or that's someone else, and
someone else. And you guys, why are we here tonight? Why is tonight different from every other night? It's not. Joe Biden is still trash. There's still a lot of terrible stuff going on. But here's what happened. Ready? I'm gonna share something. I'm gonna do a screen share. And guys, thank you so much. And if you're here and you like the show, you know what you could do? Please do this. Please subscribe. Also, please, if you can, consider becoming Patreon supporters, and you can do that for as little as $1 a month, guys. That's $12 a year. What can you buy for $12? Mittens. Yeah, you can. Let's see. So here we go. Ready? I'm gonna open up a Twitter thing. I love that Katie actually reads the chat. Yeah, but sometimes it's very distracting, and sometimes I get into fights with people on it. Kate, sometimes my chat can be a little bit like APAC, in that it's the loudest, fetchiest people dominate, but they're not funded and politically powerful. That's good, but they are loud.
That's the difference. Okay.
That's the difference, yeah.
They're like
I look so Morticia-like, by the way. It's really bad. I look so pale, but what are you going to do? Okay, we already got our first donor. Yay, Jonathan Tipton Mayers, Bernie Sanders and the Mittens of Misogyny, J.K. Rowling. Yeah, that is true. It has a very Harry Potter sound to it, right? So, Kate, while I get this stuff ready, why don't you tell people about who you are, and tell people about why I had you on here. Tell people also about how we know each other if you want. And as you're doing that, I'm going to get up this Twitter thing.
Okay. Katie and I go way back to the Wonder Years, the teen years, where we met at in the lobby of the office of our commie summer camp in the Berkshires, where I was being interviewed to be a counselor in training.
In Brooklyn, though. The edifice in which we met was in Brooklyn, which is where the offices of the camp are. Yeah.
That's right. Just so everyone can follow. Everyone who's mapping it out can follow along. Yeah, that's where it was, in Brooklyn.
Well, we didn't meet in the Berkshires. That's,
We didn't. That would be too corny. But yeah, we became friends at that camp. And then had, many a date thereafter in New York City. Katie grew up in the city. I grew up in suburban New Jersey, though I mainly tell people now that I'm from New York City to conceal that fact. No, but I used to take the bus into the city when I was in high school and go have movie dates with Katie,
including the very good movie.
Including and especially Waiting for Guffman, which is such
a good movie.
The foundation of our friendship.
Of so much, including our friendship, yeah.
Of so much, yeah. Our friendship and more. So,
I mean, yeah. And by the way, we only saw that because you remember what movie we went to see?
Don't tell me. Was it Sling Blade?
Yeah, it was.
Oh
And
my
it was
God.
played,
Okay.
it was
Yeah.
sold out. And we were at the Angelica Theater in Manhattan. There's a couple of
Mhm.
Angelicas around there. There's one in, I
Yeah.
think, in Texas. Corky Sinclair is like, yeah, Corky, we want you to live. Yeah,
Right.
that's funny. This one time at where is it? This one time at communist camp. Yeah, that's very true. So yeah, we saw that, and I don't think that I didn't even get it until like I didn't get it as quickly as other people did. I remember the first time I started laughing was when Corky Sinclair was like, I worked in the, I was in construction. I was one of the, with the men wearing the hats with the kind of swooping hats and the chaps. And that's when I started laughing. In
But
case people want to know.
you know what I'm imagining now is like a Corky mashup with the guy from Sling Blade. Like,
Oh, that would be really good.
yeah. I mean, I used to actually cry every time I saw Sling Blade. It's not like I've watched it since and not cried. It's just like I watched it a couple times in the decade it came out and I cried.
Right. I didn't know you were a serial Sling Blade watcher.
No, but when he's like, there's like some line in there about like taters or something, like,
Taters. Wow.
you know what I'm talking about? Like
No, I saw it once, but not
someone
many
here knows
times.
what I'm talking about, but he's like, and you know how that character talks, he's like, taters.
Yeah.
And
So,
like,
you know what would be really good would be if Corky Sinclair responded to that, like he does the auditions. He'd be like, I made okay, I gotta find this, guys. This is one of these things where I sound like Corky right now. Corky Sinclair, I made like one of the things I'm proudest of ever, and I gotta find it, is, I did it for paste, and then, hold on. Okay, I think I got it. Please tell me. All right, this is the best thing I've ever done. I'm going to show this to you. Ready, guys? Honestly, I don't want to overrate it, but I did a video. I was listening to Richard Spencer, and I was like, wow, he sounds like, at first I thought he sounded like the guy who's in Christopher Guest movies, who, Michael McDonald or something. What's his name? He played Jane Lynch's husband in A Mighty Wind.
the blonde guy?
No, not Michael no, not that guy. He was in that like terrible Hillary video where they're all singing This Is My Fight song. Anyone know? Come on, guys. Hold on, let me look this up. Cast Mighty Wind. Mighty Wind was good. Mighty Wind was like offended my aunts and uncle because it was too real. You know what I mean? It really did. Hold on, let me find this. All right. Let me see the cast. What is his name? It's Michael or Matthew something. Not Michael McKean.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Like, he's younger than Michael.
Yeah. What's his name?
I mean,
John Mitchell Higgins. Sorry, John
Okay.
Mitchell Higgins. That's who it is. So at first I thought that Corky Sinclair's voice reminded me of John Mitchell Higgins. And then I
You're
realized...
talking about Richard Spencer? Is that what you
sorry. Yeah. Did I say... What did I just say?
Corky Sinclair?
Sorry. I thought that Richard Spencer's voice... I'm sorry. I'm so distracted by how bright I am. Let me just adjust this for 1 second, okay? 1 second, guys. Kate, take it away. Take any questions you want.
Radioactive. Oh, wait. What did you want me to talk about? I mean,
I don't know. I'm just
I
going to
can
make
go
you
back
full
to Sling
screen
Blade.
if I can. Can I make you full screen? No, I want you full screen. The other way.
I'm not
Hold
sure I
on.
can handle that, but
Dang it. All right, 1 second. I just got to make it less bright.
with the Sling
I need
Blade
to do that.
enactment.
Sorry.
Okay. Is this some kind of like weird prank? Okay, so anyway, I guess I'll just start talking about some like greatest Katie hits. Well, I guess we're not gonna do that, but I was gonna tell them about the time.
Not really.
Not really. But I was gonna tell them about the time you and I were at some event, and like a young woman was very solemnly talking, like she was reading the poem where the bird.
How did this come up?
I don't know. I just had to. You like
Share
left.
this, yeah.
and made me,
A
like,
sparrow
feel-
came to my window.
Excuse me. It was my show for
Sorry,
a minute.
keep going,
and
yeah.
That's what I was talking about.
So tell this. It's a great story.
Yeah. So it was a poem, right? Like
A song.
Right.
A song.
yeah, okay, a song. Like we were at some event in the city, and it was like a very serious occasion, very solemn, and like I have no idea what we were doing there. And this young woman was like singing a song about a sparrow that came to her window. And like
It was right after her grandmother had died, right?
right, or something. I don't know, but that was
Yeah,
the
it was
big
grandma.
payoff.
Wow,
That was
I'm
like
glad
the
one of
big,
us was paying attention, Kate.
that
Some
was
of
the
us have
big reveal.
feelings.
No. That was the big like reveal of the piece, was that it was like the soul of her dead grandmother, and you
Right.
and I just like lost it, just like
We lost it. We lost it. Yeah.
absolutely lost it in like a totally horribly like conspicuous way. But it's like that kind of laughing where like all your organs are like coming up out through your nose.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Horrible.
But to be fair, what we did was we did that thing that you can sometimes do. Sorry, I'm trying to move my freaking camera. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so
What is,
distracted. Oh,
what's going
super
on?
distracted. Oh, sorry. All right. We did that thing that you sometimes do where you, or I do, you pretend that you're laughing. No, you pretend you're crying when you're laughing. That's what I did. Because I
Wait,
was like,
you pretend you're crying. Yeah.
yeah, pretend you're
Yeah.
crying. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Which almost would have been like the appropriate. I think that was the intended response
Yeah,
from
I
the.
don't know if it was like physical sobs. I mean, I guess depending on how empathetic you are. But yeah, it was definitely we had to err on the side of we had to err on the side of
Grief.
of grief, of tears. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, we've known each other for a long time through thick and thin, and now I just want to play you guys, and I'm sorry that it didn't improve my lighting situation. I don't know what's happening, but I'm going to talk to someone about this. And my camera just fell. Sorry, guys. 1 second. This is the best.
Dude.
What I keep saying that a lot of people, not everyone would let people see this. A lot of people would just go dark.
This is pretty raw. Yeah.
This fucking camera. Guys, you know what? I'm looking at you, Logitech Brillo. I've told people to get you, but I'm not doing that anymore because honestly, it's good. It's a good camera, but the structure of it, not so good. Falls all the time. Anyway, who cares? You're just on notice, Logitech. All right. So here's the thing. What were we talking about? We were talking about Sparrow came to my window. We were talking about Waiting for Guffman. Oh, and now I'm going to show you guys my Waiting for Guffman mashup. So I thought that Corky sounded like John Michael Higgins. And then I realized that the content of what he was saying actually sounded like Corky Sinclair. So, without any further ado, do a little screen share. Then we'll get to the article that we advertised.
Yes. Okay.
But this is important, guys. This is really important. When you see this, you're going to be so grateful that I show that to you. Hold on.
The backstory.
I already told you the backstory, right? Okay, hold on. Hold on.
Let's get in a fight.
Can you guys hear that? Kate, could you hear that?
I heard it for like a second.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's all you needed. That's it. Done. You're welcome. No, I'm just kidding. Hold on. Okay, ready?
Hi everyone, this is Richard Spencer, and I'm going to talk about a really terrible thing that just happened today, and that is the assault on me.
Such an experience, you never forget it. It stays with you for your whole life.
We're in downtown DC near a restaurant that I like to go to.
I was shopping for my wife, Bonnie. I buy most of her clothes.
And we just happened upon this serious demonstration.
Mrs. Pearl was in the same shop. And it just was an accident.
It was basically stuff I'm used to, leftists who were, Sieg heiling me.
Das kann das mussten, that whole German thing.
I was getting into it with them all, and it became a little bit edgy.
The conceptualization, the whole abstraction, the obtuseness.
And then someone came out of nowhere and punched me.
And then basically being slammed down.
While I was there, a guy came and spat on me. I was attacked with a
stinky product.
This shit-smelling substance. This was 3 physical assaults.
And then enough is enough, okay? I get the joke.
Say what you will about challenging someone to a fight over, an ideological issue.
It's like in the olden days, in the days in France, when men would slap each other with their gloves.
There's at least something manly about it.
I'm going to fight for my country. To fight, and yes, perhaps die.
There's something civilized about it in the sense that you go up to his face and say,
let's
get in a fight.
D'Artagnan, how dare you talk to me like that, you? And smack him.
I can't punch back.
I can't put up with you people.
When a guy comes out of nowhere, punches me, and runs.
And I'll tell you why I can't put up with you people.
This is who these people are.
You're bastard people.
Total cowards that we're dealing with.
I just hate you, and I hate your ass face.
I have reached a stage of being a public figure where I am going to be recognized.
I have a private number. It's not listed, so don't lose it. And do not give it out to anyone.
Look, I think I'm just, I'm thinking out loud here, but
What I need, this is so hard. I mean, there's nothing easy about this. This is like when you're getting your legs waxed and they whip that thing off real fast.
I'm going to have to,
Just leave and go home and make a clean cut here.
I was even planning to go out tomorrow, do some journalism. I can't do that anymore.
I'm going home and I'm gonna bite my pillow. It's what I'm gonna do.
No, I can send someone else to go get photos.
You find people. You find them. Something. Is it karma? Maybe.
I'm okay, don't worry.
I'm feeling good.
All right, that was great. I mean, I can say that was great because it wasn't my hand, it was God's hand. I mean, how well did that go together? It was it was so perfect. Yeah, so good, right? I mean, again, I'm not bragging, it's divine intervention. But you know what's interesting about that movie is that mockumentary is that he plays a closeted gay character, but it's not homophobic because just statistically, right, when you play as many characters as you play, one of them is going to be a closeted gay character.
Well, I agree that it's not homophobic, but I think the reason is that it's like, I think a loving, like the tone of it is a really loving portrayal. Right. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it is. Yeah.
Like you're rooting for him. He's really sweet. Like he's not like the movie's not like punching down on Corky. Like, he's a champ.
I mean, there's a little punching down on everyone in it.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
But Corky's like, he's got a dignity, man. Like the remains of the gay lunchbox.
Yeah, he plays it. That's what Neil Sanger wrote. Says yes, he plays it respectfully. It's like I only say this because I think sometimes that's it. He plays it respectfully and in a nuanced way, and he plays it the same way he plays every other character. So I think we agree, but it happens to be, although I sounded like a weird Malthusian or something there, like it just happens to be. Yes, Nick Shahid. I mean, context should be taken into consideration when making id-Paul judgments. Yeah. Anyway, that's such a great movie. It's my favorite of all the Guffmans. But you know what? Let's go back to the matter at hand.
Yeah, okay? Actually, I think there's a little bit, if I may, like there's a little bit of a segue there because if someone had come along and written and been like, you know what, like Christopher Guest's portrayal of Corky St. Clair is homophobic, like it's almost like it's not quite as totally like horrific and egregious as the piece we're about to look at, but it's kind of like that. It's someone just making an argument to sort of, try to draw attention to their own sort of like wokeness and, like just a sort of weird posturing.
Yeah, right. But they have to do it in a way that's actually would wind up being homophobic. Just like her thing is like winds up being not white supremacist, but pretty like low key. I wouldn't say anti-Semitic, but like privilege blind, and we're going to get into that. And we are talking about a terrible piece of propaganda called what was it called? I have it in our thumbnail.
No, I have it. It was in the San Francisco Chronicle. It came out yesterday, right?
Or the day before. I don't know.
Or maybe the day before. But and it's an op-ed, and it's called "San Francisco High School Students Get a Lesson in Subtle White Privilege."
Yes. And now for those of you who are like the real party poopers who I should be ignoring in the chat, especially because you haven't donated anything and you should really pay if you're going to talk ish. Why are we talking about this? Because it's not just about one random article. We're talking about this because it speaks to something that's a real problem, which is, and I'm not gonna give everything away, but there's a real problem that we could come up with some terms for this, Kate, during the show. But I'm thinking neoliberal pseudo-feminism, maybe. Like, there's definitely and you know what? We got to go there. But listen. You need to wait. And so whoever said that, you need to wait. But I'm tired of being asked that question, okay?
Yeah. It's not just that though. I mean, we don't want to like put the cart before the horse or whatever, but it's what you just said, but it's also like the prioritizing of symbolism
Right.
over materialism.
Policy. Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Yes.
So,
It's what you just said. That sounds like a Waiting for Guffman line.
Yeah.
It's what you just said.
it's what you just said.
No, you know what that reminds me of Mabo. It's
the
Mabo.
vibe. It's
It's
the
the vibe of it. If
Yeah.
anyone didn't see the movie The Castle, you should, because there's a really shut up. Oh, you got to be rich to talk to Katie. You're so canceled. No, if you want to shit talk, you got to pay me. That's really not that hard to deal with or get. Brian Frederick, hello, thank you. Kate Squared tonight is awesome. It is. It's always awesome. Anyway, so what movie we were just talking about?
We were just
The Castle. It's a great movie.
about
Yeah.
Castle.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't want to give it away. But anyway, so before we even get into thank you, David, myself, for the solidarity. Forever. Is that forever? Okay. So
For now.
before.
Wait, you and I
now,
should start
Solidarity for
a
Now.
podcast called Solidarity for Now.
It's so good.
I
Kate and
don't
I
think
had
you-
so many. Sorry, I cut you off. What?
No, I don't think you do enough podcasts. So like,
I
let's just have
know.
one more. Solidarity.
Well, I can't commit too much, so that's why it would be Solidarity for Now, because I
can't
don't
commit
know.
either. I have 2 kids, and I just like I'm gonna be out of here in like 5 minutes anyway. So yeah,
Exactly,
Solidarity
yeah.
for Now. It's
Solidarity
like
for
a
Now.
5-minute podcast.
5-minute podcast where we talk about whatever we want, and then one
I
of us
love
gets
that.
off by either my camera falls over or baby comes in. We
Yeah.
also had an idea of what to do when you're expecting. Remember what to do when you're expecting the revolution? What was
What to
it?
expect when you're expecting?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
What to expect when you're expecting the revolution, which was how to raise kids while.
I mean, I think it was like
think
parenting
there was a
in the
revolution.
age of Trump, which was obviously like too narrow, too limited. Because I mean, like it just makes it sound like Trump. You know the whole thing. He's like an aberration. How do we parent?
Oh, right, yeah.
Trump. Like
He's both, right?
sure, yeah.
Yeah. So, here's the thing. So this is why I decided to do this live stream with Kate Levin. Again, for those of us who are just joining, Kate Levin is a writer, an award-winning writer, and a writing instructor, which means she teaches people in college. She also is the co-director of a prison education program, and we'll get into that later. But here's the thing. I'm going to show you. I got this text, okay? Let me do a screen share. I already asked your permission, right, Kate? You've got 5 seconds to object. Okay. All right. Okay, so Kate Levin texts me, and it's a screenshot of this article, Bernie's Mittens, a lesson for SF high school students in subtle white privilege. And Kate writes to me, I can't deal with how dumb this is. It's sad that I turned 40 just to have this kill me. Because Kate Levin turned 40. I know you can't believe it, but she turned 40 January 30th.
Yeah.
And, my dad turned another age, January 29th. So there's that.
41. Yeah.
41, yeah. And then this is my response. Can we do a live reading of this seriously on my show? And I misspelled this, obviously. And here we are, guys. Here we are. Okay. So that's great. I'm so happy about that. And now we're going to get into the article. But first, let me just actually call it up, because obviously the only thing worse than the San Francisco Chronicle publishing this is that all their shit is paywalled.
What's that? Oh, you mean I have it? I mean, do you want me to?
Oh
read
yeah,
it?
no, I have it too. I'm just talking about that. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just complaining. Yeah.
Well, in a way, that's better. Like.
Yeah, it's harm reduction. You're right. It's like a trigger warning.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So let me share again. And guys, once we got started on this, you're going to be so happy. All right. But this was all the pre whatever. Okay. So I saw this and I was like, who's going to post the screenshots? Right. But here it is. Bernie's Mittens, a lesson for SF high school students in subtle white privilege. All right. Now, then someone very nicely posted the thing. Where is it? Where is it? Well, here's Ingrid, by the way. Now, oh, she's a tat. Very edgy. Very edgy, Ingrid. But I think you're appropriating another culture, which is problematic. No one say anything about her looks. This is not about her looks. It's just about...
I'm gonna stick to the argument here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking for... But someone actually linked to it. You want to... You have it? Do you have screen grabs of it or what?
What do I have?
Yeah, what do you have?
I just have it on my phone.
All right, hold on one second. Hold on one second. Okay, here we go. Great. Thank you. All right. And they were abandon all hope, ye who read this. Thank you. Know Nothing TV. Got to follow them back. Okay, so can you guys see this? No, you can't see it because it's very hard to see, right? Hold on. Hold on, guys. 1 second. Got it. Got it. All right, here it is. Okay, I really got it now. Ready? Here it is. Can everyone see now?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank God. All right, SF high school students get a lesson in subtle white privilege. Do you want to alternate who reads it? Or do you want me to be the person or you to be the person? How do you want to do it?
No, let's alternate. Let's do it. Mm-hmm.
3 weeks ago, I processed the Capitol insurrection with my high school students. Rallying our inquiry skills, we analyzed the images of that historic day. Images of white men storming through the Capitol, fearless and with no forces to stop them. This, I said, is white supremacy. This is white privilege. It can be hard to pinpoint, but when we see it, we know it. Can I just pause 1 second and can we talk about that paragraph?
What kind of teaching is that?
Okay, what kind of teaching is that? Also, I didn't think like a guy with a Camp Auschwitz shirt on was that challenging
Hard to
to
pinpoint.
analyze. Yeah. Like, it's not that easy to pinpoint, but every now and then, when a bunch of white dudes storm the Capitol, some of whom are armed, some of whom are wearing Camp Auschwitz t-shirts, if you read between the lines, you may be able to break down some problematic white privilege.
You know what she's talking about in the end there? She's talking about the vibe, Katie. When we
It's
see
the
it,
vibe. It's the vibe of it. Yeah. I'm going to have to
Get
find
the
that
white
clip.
Supremacist vibe
It's
from
the white supremacist
insurrection.
vibe. Yeah, that's what it is. So, thank God, though, I just want to say I'm glad that she processed it, and I'm glad that she was able. Can you imagine being in her class and being like, this is white privilege. It can be hard to pinpoint, but when we see it, we know it. That's like, what's that famous line about pornography? It's like, I don't know what it is, but when I know it when I see it. Like, no.
Yeah.
Guys with beards, no offense, a bearded guy with a Camp Auschwitz shirt. That's, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm much smarter than Ingrid Oki. But anyway, so you take it away. The next paragraph is for you, Kate Levin.
Okay, can you scroll down a bit?
Yeah, of course.
All right. Across our Zoom screen, they affirmed with nods, thumbs up, and emojis of anger and frustration. Fast forward 2 weeks as we analyzed images from the inauguration, asking again, what do we see? We saw diversity, creativity, and humanity, and a nation embracing all of this and more. On the day of the inauguration, Bernie Sanders was barely on our radar. The next day, he was everywhere.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay, first of all, lady, again, and I don't want to pick on her. I'm trying to call her in instead of calling her out. So I'm gonna be as generous to her as she was to Bernie Sanders, who, by the way, is Jewish. Yeah, he's a guy, but he's Jewish, and you're not Jewish. Okay?
I mean,
I just want to, if we're playing fucking woke arithmetic, okay, lady? So I'm trying to be patient with you, and I understand that you have Goyish privilege that's blinding, and that's okay, but you need to check it. And Kate Levin and I are going to check it for you. We're going to 1.5 times check it for you. Because Kate is, as you can see, as you probably get from my very good joke, she's a potato famine latke. Do you guys know what that is? There's pizza bagel. That's Italian Jewish. Potato famine latke is what I made up.
I think
Okay, I'm going to ignore the chats for now until we get to... No, you know what? I'm going to show this one. Okay. Bernie is white. Yeah, I know that because Jews are both white and then you have non-white Jews and that applies. But being Jewish is not, you know what? Let me just explain this to you, David. You know those people who won't replace those people? They're not just white people, okay? They're fucking Jews, right? It's not whites will not replace us. It's Jews will not replace us. And yes, I'm as a Jew have tons of white, I have white privilege. Like there's no white privilege. The only white privilege to which I do not have access is in the context of people who don't like Jews, at which point, but like my entire life, I've operated with white privilege. I never tried to join a country club. I never tried to socialize with Nazis or ask a Nazi out on a date or a neo-Nazi. So you don't have to tell me that that Bernie is white.
Yeah.
But if you don't get
Bernie,
the different, yeah, speak on it.
Sorry
Kate.
to jump in. I mean, just to maybe cut some of these comments off at the pass, like
Yes.
Bernie is white. Bernie, like any white person, enjoys white privilege, right? That's not, nobody's disputing that.
He doesn't enjoy it. He's comfortable.
Does he enjoy anything?
No, exactly. Right, yeah.
Like, that's because he doesn't enjoy anything.
Right.
But even the Jewish question aside, like the thesis of this article, which maybe we should just read it, is that Bernie wearing these mittens to the inauguration is a manifestation of his white privilege.
Right.
Okay, that's the argument. So no one here is denying that Bernie's white or that he has white privilege. It's just these mittens, are they the manifestation of white privilege that this author thinks that they are? Right. And why is she making this case?
Why is she making this case?
Yeah.
And also, it's not just the mittens, it's the whole attires we'll get to. So I guess we could read the whole thing and then go back and break it down because it's pretty short. Thank God.
Yeah.
All right, so let's keep going.
Let's keep doing it. I think you're up.
All right, I'm up. What do we see? I asked again. We've been studying diversity and discrimination in the United States. My students were ready. What did they see? They saw a white man in a puffy jacket and huge mittens. Distant, not only in his social distancing, but in his demeanor and attire. Can I read the next little one? Then I'll pass it to you. Mm-hmm. We took in the meaning of the day, the vulnerability of democracy, the power of ritual, traditions, and the peaceful transition of power. Your turn.
Okay. We talked about gender and the possible meanings of the attire chosen by Vice President Kamala Harris, Dr. Jill Biden, the Biden grandchildren, Michelle Obama, Amanda Gorman, and others. We referenced the female warriors inspiring these women, the colors of their educational degrees, and their monochromatic ensembles of pure power.
I bet she said ensemble.
Ensemble. Right? Yeah.
Ensemble. Yeah.
Sorry. Mm-hmm.
Okay, she's so down to earth, this woman. Just pure, what's the expression? Salt of the earth. And there, across all of our news and social media feeds, was Bernie. Bernie memes, Bernie sweatshirts, endless love for Bernie. I puzzled and fumed as an individual as I strove to be my best possible teacher. What did I see? What did I think my students should see? A wealthy, incredibly well-educated, and privileged white man showing up for perhaps the most important ritual of the decade in a puffy jacket and huge mittens.
That's amazing. Like, it's written with there's such a dramatic buildup. There's like, it's almost as though he showed up in like an Elvis suit or something, or like, like a garbage can.
Yeah. Or like who has two opposable thumbs and likes blowjobs? This guy.
Like, you mean that t-shirt? Like, it was probably under the jacket, but
yeah, probably was. Yeah.
No, but like, it's an amazing sentence to go back to where she was like, she was so incensed or she was fuming or something that it almost threatened her ability to teach. That's how
to be her best teacher. Now, my best possible teacher. I taught high school, and I can guarantee you, my worst possible teacher day was better than her best possible teacher. Because there's something wrong with you when you're fuming about this. And also there's something wrong with you when you think that this is a good enough prose to repeat, which is a puffy jacket and huge mittens. Like, what? Is this some weird beat poetry where you go back to this amazing prose that you wrote? Anyway, sorry.
All right. Yeah. No. Okay, wait. Is it you or is it me?
It's me.
Okay.
I mean in no way. Now, here's where she gets humble. I mean in no way to overstate the parallels. Senator Sanders is no white supremacist insurrectionist.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ingrid. But he manifests privilege, white privilege, male privilege, and class privilege in ways that my students could see and feel. Where's the cis privilege, Ingrid? Where's the able privilege? Wow, you're super problematic. All right, anyway, let's keep going.
Yeah, okay. Wait, scroll down.
Canceled. Yeah.
Okay. When you see privilege, you know it. I told them weeks before. We have to come back to this because I'm noticing a pattern. Yet when they saw Senator Bernie Sanders manifesting privilege when seemingly no one else did, I struggled to explain that disparity. I am beyond puzzled as to why so many are loving the images of Bernie and his gloves. Sweet, yes, the gloves knit by an educator. So Bernie.
Not so sweet. The blindness I see of so many, Bernie included, to the privileges Bernie represents. I don't know how many poor or working class or female are struggling to be taken seriously folk, oh my God, who would show up at the inauguration of our 46th president dressed like Bernie, unless those same folk had privilege, which they don't. Okay, so I just want to take this moment to ask people if anyone wants to comment, if anyone falls under those descriptors of working class female struggling to be taken seriously folk, and you have anything to say about this, let me know, because I have a feeling that you guys are not all a monolith, and actually I'm a woman, so there we go. I can speak to that. Female, really Ingrid? Problematic. Anyway, yeah. She's a turf. Anyway,
you'll be happy to know. I think, not to like reveal the depths of my like day-long obsession with this, but I did go to the author's Facebook page, which I think may not be there anymore because I was trying to.
Oh no! Did you take screenshots?
Oh yeah. Wait, I took a screenshot of a really, really great comment that someone made, who I think was another teacher who also identified as a woman of color. She just nailed it. Like, there's nothing.
Oh great! Do we have it?
I have it. I mean, I don't want to reveal her name.
Oh yeah, you can read it to me, or you can email it to me, and I can crop it out. But guys, is everyone liking this? You guys all have to like this stream and also share it. Share it. And subscribe. If you haven't subscribe and then press the bell. But yeah.
I mean, I could read the comment. Like, I want to give this person credit without exposing them. But anyway.
Well, you could ask the person. For now, why don't you not give them credit if you don't want to expose them? And while we're doing this, you can text them or DM or Facebook chat them. How about that?
I'm gonna send it. I'm gonna just send it to you and let you deal with that. Okay.
Yeah, let me see. Let me read some good comments. Brad writes, Bernie wearing mittens made by a working class woman teacher was probably one of the most real aspects of that whole inauguration, cosplaying as a Super Bowl halftime show. I mean, what he did was he exploited the emotional and physical labor of a woman. And that's actually not okay. Yeah, we should wokeify everything, like problematize everything. God. Thank you, Amit Joshi. Love this kind of deep dive or
woke bullshit.
Woke bullshit, yeah.
Yeah, again, I mean, like this essay, this op-ed, if you will, is way more famous for being terrible than it is for its own argument or its own merit. Yeah. So you and I, like, this is like shooting fish in a barrel, right? But at the same time, I think, to go back, if I may circle back, to
please
use
to drop a sake bomb.
A what?
A sake bomb. Jen Psaki keeps saying that. Biden's press secretary. Yeah.
Oh really? Okay. Psaki. Okay. Yeah. Let's circle it on back. And like it's what we said in the beginning. Like I mean, I think you and I both recognize this kind of like like elevation of symbolism. The real like kind of noxious thing about this piece is that it's so self-referential. It's so much just about, it's just a celebration of the author's own supposedly critical teaching, right? Like, I'm showing the kids what other people don't see. No one's talking about this. There's so many, I mean, this is a really short piece. You and I read that in like, I mean, probably it took us 20 minutes, but it's like 5 paragraphs.
With some analysis, and we're going to do more, don't you worry.
Close reading. But there are like numerous references. Notice, like, we never hear like the students, like this.
Oh yeah.
It's not about them. It's not about like anyone's real authentic reaction to this piece. It's just a chance for the teacher to do a nice little bit of teaching, right? Or so she thinks. And again, like, I don't want to pile on this woman. Like, I'm a teacher too.
It's Kate_Levin_, by the way.
What's
that? Your Twitter handle.
It's Kate, thank you. Maybe you can tell me the password because I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, so that's like, it's just like I hate this stuff because we don't have time for this bullshit. Like, nothing can ever really change unless we deal with people's to take it back to commie camp, but material. Yeah. And if people mistake this kind of stuff for like what we really need to make society like bearable and survivable for the majority of people, like we're fucked, you know, like we're totally screwed.
I mean, I think here, but Kate, what would you say? I'm writing a tweet right now. Can you see that? Oh no, let me share it. Hold on. I'm writing a tweet. What just happened? Oh my God, I'm sharing like my whole thing. Let me stop this now. Okay. Wow. Hold on. Today is a very off day. Chrome tab, Twitter. Okay. Phew. All right, hold on. Here, I'm going to copy and paste it from another window, but here you go. Dear Ingrid Sayre-Oki, Kate Levin and I are what? Are calling you in? I'm just telling her in case she wants to come on.
Oh my gosh. Wait, you're inviting her on?
Yeah, she's like never tweeted. Calling you in and inviting you to explore and acknowledge what? What should we say?
I mean, that like this argument is bogus. Like, what? I don't know. Like,
that you're a piece of
really
shit.
In the call-in spirit, but
yeah, it's not your own privilege.
I mean,
which may be, we gotta speak in her language, which may be,
right.
To explore, acknowledge, and interrogate.
God.
Acknowledge, interrogate, and unpack. And unpack your own privilege and unconscious. Was it an implicit bias?
Sure.
Goya Shabbat. We got to throw in the anti-Semitism thing, but we won't call it anti-Semitism. We'll just call it what? Goyish blindness.
I mean, I don't know. Do you think that's what it is? Like I guess I haven't been following the response to this piece that closely, although I know like the people, you know.
She also, her grammar's not very good, I think. Yeah. Sorry.
But like people pointing out Bernie's Jewishness, as you did, matters, but it's also like even again, like I don't mean to.
Sure, he could be a WASP or a.
What's that?
No, he could be. He doesn't have to be Jewish for this to be problematic.
Right. Like I mean, even if I don't know. Like I wasn't like struck by any blatant or subtle anti-Semitism here. It's just like this argument is so unnecessary. Like it's so much, it seems, an opportunity for the author herself to sort of poke her head up and sort of try to get out there. I mean, it'd be one thing if this were just like a personal like Facebook comment, you know, just like a little post or whatever. But like this isn't like a major newspaper, you know, like to put this out there in a major newspaper, like that's your intervention into the discourse, like, you know, around racism and white supremacy. Like, yeah, that's awful, you know?
Well, yeah, and there's something else that we're not talking about, which isn't just the substituting symbolism for material. This is, how's this, by the way? Dear Ingrid, Kate Levin and I are calling you in and inviting you to explore, acknowledge, interrogate, and unpack your own privilege and implicit Goyish bias and blindness. Would love to have you hear us speak our truth.
Oh my God.
To power.
What have you gotten me into? Yeah, you know.
Would love to interview you.
That is, to imagine that actually happening just gives me this like creepy crawly feeling, but that would be great.
Makes your skin crawl.
It does a little bit.
All right. So, all right, here's the thing, and we were talking about this, right? Let's go back to the screen share of the article.
I do have to say, I'm sorry that I probably have to go tend to my children soon, but
right.
Yeah, let's hit
the high notes. All right.
High notes, yeah.
All right. This is Kate's, by the way, half Jewish, half non-Jewish privilege that she's using. That's why she can just be so. Okay, hold on. Ready?
Exactly. It's why I'm not wearing a blouse like you. Like I'm half Irish, so
never mind. I'll find a blouse like Jew. All right.
I wish I had that blouse. I mean,
it's a great blouse. I usually wear it the other way. I'll explain that another time. But hold on one second. Super sicker. Thank you, Lee Levin. Now here's the thing, guys. Get your 50 friends to watch this. By the way, 1 second. So, let me read the thing you sent me. And this is from a woman of color educator. Is that what you're saying?
What's up? Oh, the point I sent you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to name her. Yeah.
You don't. Yeah, don't name her. But it was so well. It's such an example of like a good rhetorical performance, because it's not like, you know, it doesn't attack. It's like, it even says in the beginning, I get your point. And I think we all get her point, right? Like, it's not hard. This is not a complex or nuanced point. It's like, okay, Bernie's mittens are a manifestation of his white privilege. Okay, got it.
Okay, yeah. Should I read it?
You can, yeah, maybe read it without her name.
Of course.
That's
really, also not that hard.
I was really struck by this.
Okay. So wait, I read her name, right? I'm just kidding. Okay. Ingrid, I get your point, but I'm really surprised that this is what you chose to focus on when talking about whiteness and the inauguration, both with students of color and in the op-ed. I really hope that they already knew about his policy platforms for poor and working class people, including people of color, and of his massive support from women of color. I doubt that AOC cared about how he was dressed, since she was almost murdered for sharing his platforms and will continue to do so. If you have white students, Bernie's mittens can also be read as a call to white folks to stay humble and to show up in white spaces without the class trappings that make them feel like part of the show. Ooh. Or as a sign to working class people that they are represented. As a woman of color who does have to dress the part, but who dresses like Bernie in my everyday life, I appreciate it when the few white folks who are doing the structural work make it clear that the whole thing is a charade. That is so well said, as you said, Kate. And part of the reason that's so well said is that she acknowledges that she has to dress up because of certain cultural, structural, symbolic, historical reasons, but she's not mad at the guy who's for not doing it. And like, this is one of the things that really annoys me, is that the idea that like the way you're supposed to challenge white privilege is to dress up. That's not solidarity. Like, that's not how you do it. Like, you don't, white privilege is like, again, that's really the place it's going to happen. I can't think of the thing that you should do, but it's definitely not that. And here's the thing. Let me just read this. Guy fighting for healthcare for poor people, privilege. Guy, for poor people, privilege. Guy who rewrote the law to make it easier for the cops to shoot black children, not privileged. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, with all of this stuff, there's a lot. Hold on one second. Are we piling on here, or is that not fair? I think Ms. Sayer-Oki has only ever tweeted once. Right. We're not responding to her tweets. We're responding to her SF op-ed. Her San Francisco Chronicle op-ed. Yes. And I got to say that, like, yeah, I kind of feel bad for her, but honestly, this speaks to something, and this is the thing that really drove me crazy, is that, and then Kevin G, I can't help but feel this article intentionally elevated by the media to make the public hate teachers, think their kids are being feminist brainwashed. Maybe. But then people like this should not be writing these articles. And everyone, friends don't let their pseudo-feminist friends write this stuff. So the thing that really kills me about this is and after you go, Kate, I'll share with people an article I wrote. Remember the Susan Bordeaux piece I wrote about, it was a terrible headline. It was like a boomer feminist explains Bernie Sanders to a millennial feminist explains feminism to a boomer feminist. It was an obnoxious title, but there is a very personalized politics that is absolutely narcissistic, self-obsessed, and you think that your experiences, the microaggressions that you've experienced are more important than the experiences of the countless people with much less power than you. And you elevate your own personal journey, and things resonate with you or don't resonate with you. And it's like, it's really, in some ways, it's confusing therapy with politics. And I can't stand that, because it is so, like, it's just so self-indulgent, but it's under the guise of concern for others. But it's like the least solidaristic form of politics you could ever imagine. And if we just go through this really quickly, we won't read the whole thing, but guys, let me just point out some things that the students clearly she doesn't even care, as that other teacher pointed out, like, and you pointed out, she doesn't even care. She doesn't quote a single fucking student. Like, your head is so up your own ass that you don't even tell us what your student said. The only thing I can glean is that they don't understand what the fuck you're saying, probably because they're not like you, and they don't have weird issues that they haven't worked out that they then pretend are political. And I'm sorry, because I don't want to overly personalize this, but this stuff is personal. It is. It's like, you need to get outside of your head. You're puzzled and fumed as an individual. Like, if she wanted to at all be taken seriously, like she's irredeemable as far as I'm concerned.
Well,
Oh,
Katie,
yeah.
look at this line. What did I think my students should see?
That's great. Whereas, yeah, what did I think my students should see?
Look at
Oh my
that.
God, what did I see? What did I think my students should see?
Should
Yeah, you're
see.
right. They're the same thing. I
Right.
puzzled and fumed. And also, guess what? Thank you for pointing out. By the way, I like the way she doesn't say he's in no way a white supremacist. He's in no way a white supremacist insurrectionist. Maybe
Right.
he could be a white supremacist
No.
or an insurrectionist, but he's not that
a
combo.
really good. I forgot. I'm forgetting what rhetorical device that is now, but it's where like you suggest or imply something by way of saying it's not the thing. What is
Right,
it?
yeah.
Like parallaxis or something? I
don't know.
look
Yeah.
this up later, but it's like that's not to say Bernie's a white supremacist, and you're planting the seed of there being.
Of course, yeah.
There where
Can
they're-
you imagine him storming the Capitol? Oh my God, that's like it's
Bernie?
so fun. Yeah,
Absolutely, with like some Ben and Jerry's and like
I know. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
basketball. Yeah, no. So anyway, I'm trying to think. Like, yes, some of this I don't want. Like, I wouldn't be here. I mean, I always want to see you, Katie, but like, I wouldn't be here bothering with this piece if it didn't come down to what kind of you and we have been talking about, which is like, yeah, this symbolism as politics, the like elevation of one's individual level of offense as politics. And again, we're
And
talking
the
about
achievement, the individual levels of achievement of the most powerful. So it's like Kamala Harris is a black woman, not what Kamala Harris's policies did to black women.
Right. There's no politics in this piece. No. There's no politics in this piece whatsoever. There's no like talk about like actual material relations of power, because there can't be, because then the argument doesn't matter. It's all about surfaces, right? It's all about interpretation.
Yeah.
And that stuff, like, I'm someone like who's in like, a university setting and engages in a lot of that stuff. But without like a real material analysis, like it's totally meaningless. And that's totally absent here, anyway. And it's like, why are we talking about this piece so much? Because it's like, it's gonna reach people by virtue of its platform, and we really have to like do what we can to discourage this kind of thinking. Like, we want more people. We want to create a world in which people can more easily like join unions. Like we want a world in which people have free healthcare and free education and no debt. That's the world we want. Like that vision of a world is absent here, because like we're looking at Mittens, and like the symbolism, like this wildly like, outlandish interpretation of what those mittens mean. Like really, it's probably just like, like I don't know this woman, I don't know like what her like.
Yeah, everyone tell us about her. I know when she says he's highly educated, Bernie Sanders went to Brooklyn College and then Chicago, and he got 1 degree. He has an undergraduate degree. This lady has graduate work.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, but again, like, no one's doubting. Like, Bernie is a member of like the political class in America. Like, he is like a wealthy, like,
as of like a couple years ago, wealthy, because of the books he sold.
But again, like, that's not like AOC has also ascended into the political elite by virtue of her being elected, to Congress, right? So, but that in and of itself tells us nothing, like about the actual policies that these people are fighting to enact. It doesn't tell us anything. So. Anyway, that's
Amy Sinise says she's not calling out white privilege by attacking Bernie in this way. She's demonstrating what looks like her. But here's the thing. It's frustrating, and it's also, look, if you think this is an isolated incident, I would suggest that you look at MSNBC, Joanne Reed talking about his physicality, Mimi Roca talking about how he makes my skin crawl, and I can't even identify why. And so there's this huge bias, and then it's a bias coming from people who present themselves as progressive and feminist, and that is what really, it's like, if your feminism, any feminist who didn't support Bernie Sanders, I'm going to say it, is not a feminist. You can maybe be a feminist if you supported Warren, kind of, but that probably means like your personal stuff got the best of you, because honestly, Bernie's policies are all more feminist. I'll let you, if you want, sure.
That's very
You
generous.
supported Hillary, though? No, you're not a fan. I mean, there's absolutely no. I'll give you some leeway with Warren, even though I don't really think that that's the most feminist thing. But wait, the literary device Levin was working for is called apophysis.
Is that what it is?
Apophysis, yeah, courtesy of Google.
Oh,
Yeah, and
thank
also tell us all about. There are things that I missed about this woman's actual biography, which is relevant. But just really quickly, Kate, what stands out to you the most? What stands out to me the most? I'll start. I'm going to treat you like she treats her students. Here's what should stand out to you the most. No, but I mean, she's bearing the lead, which is that they don't see it the way she sees it. Right? Like, yet when they saw, when you have privilege, you know it. I told them weeks before. Yet when they saw Senator Bernie Sanders manifesting privilege when seemingly no one else did, I struggle to explain that disparity. I'm beyond puzzled as to why so many are loving the images of Bernie in his gloves. Sweet, yes, the gloves. Also, why is she talking like a spoken word poet? Knit by an educator? So Bernie. But here's the other thing. She totally gives away that she hates like the fact that Bernie Sanders was barely on our radar. The next day he was everywhere. Do you know that people who are politically engaged actually care about Bernie Sanders? Because, wait, let me try to remember. Oh, right. He was the only one talking about 2,000 fucking bucks. Like, you're so out of touch with politics.
Yeah.
But you don't even know that you're owning yourself and exposing yourself as being so out of touch with politics.
Yeah.
Because.
Yeah. I'm sorry to interrupt. I guess, and this will be my outro, my exit. But I remember AOC made this point, before the inauguration, she's made this point for a long time that we need more working class people in government. Because people were attacking her for being a bartender or something like that. She was like, "What are you talking about?" Our system would work a lot better if it weren't constantly members of the same political and economic elite class, representing people, right? And I think. When you see, I don't want to make the same mistake as the author here of interpreting too much about Bernie's clothes, because it was cold, as hell, I guess is the wrong, expression, but it was
colder than a witch's teat.
Than a witch's teat, right? So that's how the guy dresses. Like, we all know that. So I don't want to interpret too much, but there's also, I think, in seeing the juxtaposition, or if there's any disjunction between the way Bernie's dressing and these other people in fancy coats and the whole garb and everything like that, what it does show you is that it is obscene. The political elite can carry on with sort of pageantry and luxury and everything like that. I'm not saying the inauguration was that necessarily, but there's plenty of that, right? They are not subjected to the same vulnerabilities as the working class in this country. They're insulated from all the horrors of these terrible policies that most of us are forced to live under, right? Where you have to have private health insurance or nothing, and you a shit ton of debt, all of it, everything that makes life in America so miserable for so many people, right? Most of our politicians are insulated from that, right? And they don't, most of them don't pretend to hide it, right? They enjoy the trappings of their status. Bernie is a dude working in the government to try to redistribute wealth in this country, right? And change the policies so that life in America is less miserable. And can you kind of get a quick snapshot of that from the way he was dressed at the inauguration? Sure. It's just consistent. It's consistent with his persona and with his politics. And that's really all there is to say about it. So this woman sort of really doing all these rhetorical gymnastics to kind of twist it into something else and really just sort of make a theater of how great a teacher she is and all that stuff is, it's going to rub a lot of us the wrong way.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And also, you're obviously not even, what's sad is you're not even a good teacher. You don't even know how to brainwash them. So go fume, keep fuming that people don't understand why this mensch who's done more than, I don't know, is this a charter school? We need to do some real-time research. And Kate, I know you have to go.
I think it's a public school.
Either way, I feel bad for her students. Can you imagine seeing her? I would have been in fact, guys, any of your students, I'm going to provide you with a hotline, because there should be treatment for people who have insufferable, white, privileged pseudo woke teachers.
I mean, like she may well be a great teacher. Unfortunately, the problem is she's chosen to highlight some problematic tendencies, and she's chosen to spotlight, an example of some teaching that at least seems really, really problematic, And again, we're just getting a little selective account of it. But anyway, on that note, Katie.
Thanks, Kate Levin.
It's been such a pleasure.
Here's your website, you guys. Here's Kate Levin's website.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
People are asking. So we'll have to have you on to talk about other stuff besides this. But I'm going to share my Paste article because I think I didn't. Yeah. All right. We'll talk about this, though.
Share the Paste article. Katie.
Yeah. Kate.
I miss you.
Steve. Dad.
Yeah. Should we end with the...
Yeah, Steve and finger point. Okay. Bye, Kate.
Thanks for having me on. Until the next time.
Yes, until the next time, indeed. Bye. Everyone follow Kate. I put her link in there. All right. So, guys... I'm going to explain some stuff, and that is, we got to come up with a term, by the way, and this is I want to give also a shout out to this person, hold on, Tanilla Sheehan, who wrote to San Francisco Chronicle, I wrote to SFC letters to editor asking why Ingrid Sayer-Oki did not draw negative conclusions about Janet Yellen because of her inauguration attire. That's true, and I'm going to say something. And also Warren, right? That's pretty informal. I'm going to say something. No, I won't say something. Yeah, I will. Look. Janet Yellen and Bernie Sanders. I don't like Yellen's politics. They're both Jewish, though. And there's they have a bit of a Jewishy thing going on. That's all I'm going to say. And I can say that as a Jew. You see the difference? Do you see the difference? I'm so terrible. People are going to use it. Like anti-Semites are going to use this. But there is a difference because she's super sporty. Patagonia type thing. Yellen and Bernie, but Bernie is sporty, but he's not dressed sporty. That's what it is. Anyway. All right. He, Phantom is Fanto. He is perched in chair like alabaster pharaoh. So do you guys, should I read this article that I wrote? It's kind of long, but I feel like it explains a lot of stuff that I'm talking about in a way that's better than I am right now. Also monochromatic power. Yeah. Yeah. Warren looks waspy as hell. Okay. So hold on. Yeah, glove arm. Wait, IMBG. Prominent woman in tech blocked less connected women in tech when they say they're tired of being called sexist for supporting Bernie. It's lazy. What? Okay, I don't understand what this is saying. Prominent woman in tech blocked less. I don't. Can you translate this into something that's doesn't sound like a fortune cookie? Because I don't know what you're talking about. What else? Waspy Native America, yeah. All right, so did I miss any super chats? Let's see. JB, what about anti-Palestinian sentiment in the Biden administration? Yeah. Oh, Biden is like so... guys, we're going to start something called Biden Watch. He does so much terrible shit every day, and it's impossible to keep up with. I'll just read you some of the things. In fact, let me see if... 1 second. Hold on. Last minute, but let's see. We should have a Biden Watch thing, right? Hold on. Oh my God. And I'm sorry, I didn't do quite the textual analysis, but I think we did. Sorry. Let's see. That was a great thing from that woman, that teacher. Okay, so here's the deal. Ready? Biden, what did he do today? He's like he's reviewing not undoing Trump stuff. He did something with Iran. Let's see. All right. Biden Watch. We got to do that. But here's the thing. Do you guys, should I read you? I'm going to put what back? I'm going to read you. Oh, we dropped a lot of, this is really stressing me out. What previous comment? If someone can explain it to me, I will. Why don't just explain it to me? Okay. So, thanks for these super chats, Brad. Can't help but feel this article intentionally. I read that one already. KH would love you engage the ways that you may be observing anti-Semitism to be on the rise on a full segment with some of your awesome guests. Yes, thank you, JB. I will do that. I'll do that. I'll get to that. Let me know what you'd like me to do about that. What's 530 lurkers rock? What does that mean? Yeah, but who is this more powerful woman who blocked the less powerful woman? That's what I'm asking you. Anyone know? Anyone know? I don't know what they're talking about. Yeah, we read Kate Levin's friend's comment. In fact, I will take a screenshot of it now. And I will ask... Hold on. Here's what she said. You know, I can take a screenshot because it's not going to reveal who she is. Okay. I can share, right? I'm going to share it. I'm going to share this. I'm going to upload it, then share it. Hold on. And then maybe I'll get to that. Do I have too many screenshots? Yeah, this is just ridiculous. Meeting Bernie Sanders and getting an opportunity to tell him that I'm from Nepal will be the highlight of my life. I feel so blessed. Will love and support you forever, Bernie. Feel the burn. I should say, yeah, but didn't you get triggered by his mittens? Fuck you. Sorry. I can't stand this stuff. All right, can I read you my... I'm going to read you, unless it's really obnoxious to read something someone's written. YouTube is going on another demonetizing campaign. Careful what you talk about. You know what? Can I make a plea? If everyone here made... How many of you can afford to pay $1 a month? I bet a lot of you can. So it would be great if you did that. You just become Patreon supporters. Patreon.com/The Katie Halper Show. It's just... If even a few of you became $1 a month supporters, it would make a big difference, and then I wouldn't have to worry about YouTube demonetizing. I really hope that someone who said F off wasn't talking to me, but if they were, I will come back to you. Just tell me something about yourself, since you're anonymous and I'm not. That's only fair. Thank you, Jonathan Cameron, for doing the $5. And again, this is why I offer also just the $1 thing. And I understand, totally understand if, all right, I'll read that piece. But I totally understand if people can't afford it. I do. But if people can, yeah. No, $5 is not the minimum. Oh, this is good. No, you can support it for $1. You just don't get the extra bonus stuff, the chats. And I think we're gonna do some more stuff for video Patreon people. But yeah, it's $1 a month. You can just help make this show happen. There's no minimum. I'm okay. Let's see. Okay, yeah. And you guys, mugs are coming within the month. You will be getting mugs. Everyone who has been paying and at the mug level, you're getting your mugs this month. Thank you. Don't apologize. I absolutely can, and I apologize for not doing so. I'm lazy. Well, you know what? Here, we're all holding you accountable. Look at Phantomus. He has it for $25. But really, just $1. You know what? I'm going to unsub to another channel on Patreon, Katie. Honestly, unless... Yeah, I think you should do that. Okay, if you can't give money, then like and share. We have 1,000 viewers and only 544 likes. Yeah, guys, why are you being stingy? Why are you being like stingies? Why are you being like stingy? Mug level, if you give for $5 for a couple of months, I can't remember what it is, you get that. And what else? Great. Would love to donate, and will probably soon. I'm done. I sent $5, which I normally don't do. Didn't read the comments, which was highly relevant. Not sure what that means. But thank you. But you insulted a Canadian who paid you once before. Anyway, yeah, do that, because then I don't have to worry about, like, saying the word schmeria. Yeah, because some of these things do get suppressed. Thank you, Brian Frederick. I'm a Katie Halper patron for life. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, Phil, thank you. I'm a Patreon. It's more than worth it. Thank you. Waleed, yes. Oh my God. Bashan, thank you guys. And if you want, should I read the names of all my Patreon supporters, or is that like, do people not want that? Hold on 1 second. There's a comment I didn't get read. Thank you, Brad. Telling that she, oh, this is good. Yes. Spark Ishra. Telling that she didn't criticize the garb of the incredibly elite wealthy ghouls that inhabit DC that were oozing around at the inauguration. That's a really good point. Like, why isn't it problematic that people spend so much money on what they wear? Like, that's not the problematic thing. Like, I really, what I really like about the comment made by that woman of color teacher is that she acknowledged how she needed to, you know, that there are certain expectations. And it's all true. We all know this. But that's not what we should be fighting against. We should not be fighting against the fact that a jlub doesn't wear fancy stuff. Because you know what? He does important stuff instead of shopping. And maybe that signifies that his values are better. Maybe we should be happy about that. Okay? And yes, I'm annoyed and I'm disappointed that Sanders is standing the 1400 thing and not condemning it. But that also doesn't mean, I mean, the point I made, which I very much stand by, is that she is just revealing her privilege because the fact that Bernie wasn't on her radar is telling. Because anyone who cares about politics in any way, besides, oh, I hate Donald Trump. Oh my God, back to normal with Joseph Biden. Oh my God, we have the Republic. Thank God. This is what it feels like to be free or whatever bullshit. Like anyone who's not like that, anyone who cares, and this is what it's like Kate kept saying, it's politics so divorced from material conditions that it's such a privileged, it's like decorative optics-based politics that doesn't, and again, representation is important, but it doesn't go beyond that. Chris Kelly writes, represent.us is a great way to get involved in RCV, anti-gerrymandering, and anti-corruption campaigns and phone banking. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Yeah, true. Who burns? Because the piece wouldn't have gotten the time of day if she'd focused on them treating inauguration like a beauty pageant in the middle of economic hell and a pandemic. So true. So true. Let's see. Thank you, Dominic Cordova, for that. Let's see. Patrick Kibodo. I need to watch Frontline, but your stamina holds me hostage. Thank you. Also, paralypsis is what Kate was looking for. I could talk about you being a criminal, but I won't do it. It is a Trump staple. Huh. But isn't it apophyte? There's another thing, I guess? Okay. IMBG. Rewrite. Sorry, lol. There was a prominent woman in tech who would block other women who were less... sounds like there was a man from Medina who da-da-da-da-da-da-da. There was a... Wait, where'd it go? Oh, my God. Where'd it go? Wait a second. 3 more likes, guys. Just 3 more. Wait, where is... Korea Mojo. Yeah, representation by people representing the interests of workers is what is necessary and possible. And possibly. Possible, right? You know, he could auction those bits for a cause. You know, he sold a bunch of stuff after that and donated it to, like, Meals on Wheels. Oh, thank you, Cherry Tyler. Absolutely great show. Thanks for your well-placed fury. Bernie Mittens. Hashtag Bernie Mittens. Now, where is... Wait, IMBG, I can't find your original thing, but basically, hold on. Brad, if you could help me take screenshots of those, because I don't know where they're going, the IMBG ones. But, okay, so a powerful woman blocked another one, and then in tech, dared to say they were tired of being smeared as sexist for supporting Bernie. This is lazy because they weaponize politics against other women. You're saying that a woman who supports Bernie blocked another woman? All right, yeah, just write it without, you don't have to pay. You don't have to pay. I just don't understand. Write it in one thing, maybe. Okay, let's see. I'm going to read this thing. I should get a mug, all of them, in fact. All right, we'll look into that. Let's see. Tony DeMeo. I thought they were going to do a virtual inauguration. That seems pretty irresponsible. Also, you're awesome and gorgeous. Thank you. What else? Don't go to Frontline. Stay here. All right. Write up a report. She was so brave to write a report and send it to Brad. Okay. Hoot hoot. He can't do anything right. Sarcasm. Okay, so here's my thing. Ready? Katie Diamond's hands. There has been some horrible, completely unreasonable smearing against BJG after the Cedar interview. I mean, yeah, it's like, I'm not sure why people are doing that. Okay, if I meet here's the thing what I do, ready? What I do is I offer people, if I've missed their super chats, I say, can you please write it there? Because then I'll read it, okay? Wait, what was I saying, though? Guys, what was I just saying? Does the outside of a nose ring collect snot? No. Yeah. Fuck. Wait, where's the thing I was just I'm gonna read? Yeah, Bernie created a meme sticker to donate to Vermont charity. Yeah, the white privilege. What was it gonna? Okay, yeah, okay, so I mean, look, I'm gonna say something that, what's hungry? Okay, I'm gonna say something, which is that, yeah, I don't get why Brianna Joy Gray is being accused of, what is it, like misrepresenting her interactions. Oh, hold on. Bill Cole, ever thought of setting up a voicemail to play back, if any are interesting, a segment on show? PS $5 Patreon person. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that would be good. I did have a Google Mail, but I think it like expired, but I'll do that. Okay, you want me to read Lennon? Okay, we'll do that. So here's the thing. Yeah, Brianna Joy Gray was like basically accused of, how would you say this? Misrepresenting her interactions with the nurses union. And it basically didn't go anywhere because I don't know if she didn't share the screenshots, but I'll just say I saw the screenshots. And I actually think what's unfortunate is that I don't think the nurses union said that they'd never been contacted. I think someone else said that about them. And they didn't say that because some people there had been, and there was a back and forth. So, yeah. All right. Katie, see a 2000 tweet by Kyle Kalinske to find out what hungry means. Okay. Man, these people go after Brie. Here's the thing. I'm gonna say this stuff. Ready? About Brie. The Brie thing. Here's what I'll say. I had Brie on the show. I had Jimmy on the show. I co-hosted a Force the Vote town hall. I like Force the Vote. I disagree with some people who are Force the Vote in terms of tactics around it. What I don't get, and I probably shouldn't say this out loud, but like, what I don't get is the people on the other side of Force the Vote, like, it doesn't help when they talk about it. Like, they're not doing their side or themselves any favors. It's like, it's only good for the other side because of various factors that have to do with like style and branding. So I just don't get it. It's like, I'm saying this in fact, again, my saying this is doing a favor to the other side. Some of whom have attacked me very unfairly. But I don't know if that makes sense, but it's like, it's only good. I mean, okay, I guess it's good for clickbait and traffic in general. But like in terms of like I don't know. If you're going to be the adult in the room, then be the adult in the room, right? Like if your shtick is that you're the adults in the room and you care about unity and getting things done and not about internecine fighting and not about outrage, then don't do that. You're trafficking in the things that you're condemning. And of course, as people know, the thing that I can't stand, what I really can't stand are the people who make clickbait videos about how allegedly clickbaity, Brianna Joy Gray and Jimmy Dore are. I'm sorry, that drives me crazy. And I've said this, look, I don't agree with them on everything around Force the Vote or in general, of course. But, yeah, that's it. I don't get it. And it's if you want, just some people just have to just own up and say, look, I'm jealous or I'm triggered or I'm hurt. And I get if people are hurt because a lot of people have said hurtful things. But like, so just focus on your work. I don't know, like, I don't know what the outcome is that people are looking for. And what else? And I've said this before. I think that it's not. I think there's the neoliberal shill versus grifter dichotomy is a bit over the top, unnuanced. Yeah. Anthony, they don't have specific gripes, all vague by association. Okay. I have to catch up on the Glenn thing because I don't know about it. Yeah. Okay. Here's the thing. Yeah, I don't really get it either. Also, if you don't like Breonna Joy Gray and you don't like her politics, fine. That's up to you. Obviously, there are people who hate her on a visceral level, but it's not a good look to just accuse her of lying. Because there are a lot of people I hate who I fought with online, and I just wouldn't accuse them of lying because then I look like a liar, but I also just don't think it's right. So guys, talk shit in a different way. Okay, I don't have time to go down this Kyle whatever hole, but did you guys see my photo that I found of me and Herman Cain? Because I found it. Kim, why doesn't Bree support Nina getting into Congress when Nina supports M4A? She told Sam there's no point. I'd love a third party, but we can't wait. What do you mean there's no point? To support Nina Turner? I didn't know that. She did that. Thanks for all your hard work. Keep it up. Tewaz. Thank you. Tewaz. Thank you. And that was from Kim who said that. Other thing, Thomas Barnes. YouTube believes in censorship. Yeah, that's why you got to do that Patreon. Zev Bliss. I'm an educator too. How would you teach privilege with students? Bad uses of the idea are so prevalent in justice ed. Yeah, that's a good question. Like the question of how to teach it. I'm trying to think of a good person to talk about it. Who would be good to talk about that? Because there's the question of like how to talk about privilege, but you can also talk about racism and anti-racism in ways that go beyond white privilege, which I would say is important. Mihir Joshi, Biden watches his surveillance towers go up as Trump balls go down. Yeah, that's funny. I'm going to screenshot that. I like that. Okay, I'm going to get to the Paste article now, okay? 1 second. Paste. All right. Paste, okay. How good was that Corky Sinclair video, by the way? Okay, let's see. Not a huge fan of this title, but whatever. Ad blocker. Okay. Oh, I didn't mean to do it. So this was in response to a book that was reviewed and excerpted at The Guardian. It was called The Destruction of Hillary Clinton by Susan Bordeaux, okay? Can everyone see? A millennial feminist? Okay, yeah. This was very long, but... All right, a millennial feminist explains the new feminism to a boomer feminist philosopher. Okay, 1 second. Wow, that was 3 years ago? Jeez Louise. Did you tag me? Sorry. Everyone say hi to Brad, by the way, who's working behind the scenes, and Maria. Okay, so here we go. Ready? Dear Susan Bordeaux, your recent Guardian op-ed, The Destruction of Hillary Clinton, Sexism, Sanders, and the Millennial Feminists, based on your new book, The Destruction of Hillary Clinton, seeks to explain how the most qualified candidate ever to run for president lost the seemingly unlosable election. Okay. Your findings are clear. My generation of millennial feminists who supported Sanders lost Clinton the election. As a feminist, philosopher, and professor of women's and gender studies, you ground your analysis in theory and your experience teaching millennial women. I would like to offer commentary that could help you learn more about what we millennial feminists think, to indict us more effectively or exonerate us for destroying candidate Clinton and creating President Trump. Okay, 1 second, guys. I just have to catch something. 1 second. Okay. Alrighty. And then I have to grab my seltzer. Okay. Oops. Wow. Let me just also make sure Kate sends me her audio, although... Okay. The most puzzling part of your piece was how it contradicts its own thesis, which is that sexism, Sanders, and the millennial feminists were responsible for Trump's election. And then I quote her, "These people," you write, referring to your younger feminist colleagues and other left-leaners, "played a big role in Trump's election because while Trump supporters hooted and cheered for their candidate, for giving him every lie, every crime, every bit of disgusting behavior, too many young Democrats made it very clear in newspaper and internet interviews, in polls, and in the mainstream media that they were only voting for Hillary Clinton as the lesser of two evils, holding their noses, tears still streaming down their faces over the primary defeat of the person they felt truly deserved their votes. Some didn't vote at all." One second. Okay. Yet, you blame Sanders for smearing Clinton as more... Sorry, ignore that yet. Okay. You blame Sanders for smearing Clinton as more establishment and less progressive than he is. Bernie Sanders splintered and ultimately sabotaged the Democratic Party, not because he chose to run against Hillary Clinton, but because of how he ran against her, taking advantage of justified frustration with politics as usual. Sanders was taking Hillary down in a different way, as an establishment tool and creature of Wall Street. "I think, frankly," he said in January campaigning in New Hampshire, "it's hard to be a real progressive and to take on the establishment in a way that I think it has to be taken on when you come as dependent as she has through her super PAC and in other ways on Wall Street and drug company money." What makes Sanders' criticism of Clinton especially unfair, you argue, is that it's simply not true. The two politicians you claim are equally progressive and politically comparable. When Sanders denied that progressive badge of honor to Clinton, he wasn't distinguishing his agenda from hers. Their positions on most issues were, in reality, pretty similar. He was excluding her from the company of the good and pure. And yet, in the same piece, you cite and agree with a journalist who wrote in a Huffington Post article that Sanders is not only more progressive than Clinton, but more progressive than all Democrats. As Jonathan Cohn wrote in May, if Sanders is the standard by which you're going to decide whether a politician is a progressive, then almost nobody from the Democratic Party would qualify. Take Sanders out of the equation and suddenly Clinton looks an awful lot like a mainstream progressive. You and Cohn agree that Sanders is uniquely progressive. You and Cohn agree that Sanders is uniquely principled and progressive. I would agree. But that undermines your entire argument, which is based on how similar the candidates were. If Sanders is so much more progressive than Clinton, the enthusiasm gap between him and Clinton isn't a mystery. It doesn't require a conspiracy between sexism, which was undeniably present, and Sanders. It's perfectly logical. But you don't seem interested in logic or the facts. If you were, you would have done what Cohn did in his piece, called Hillary Clinton as a progressive Democrat, despite what you may have heard. You would have made the case for Clinton without distorting the truth. In a part of the article you didn't cite, Cohn writes, "The ideological gulf between Sanders and Clinton is real, and it's easy to spot. Sanders thinks everybody should get health insurance from the government and be able to attend public universities for free. He thinks taxes must go up to pay for these programs, mostly on the rich, but also on the middle class." Not sure that's so true. Anyway, Clinton has rejected these ideas as impractical, as policy or politics, or simply ill-conceived. Their histories are different too. Over the years, Sanders staked out a position so far to the political left that until this year, he didn't even formally identify as a member of the Democratic Party, and he preferred to call himself simply a Democratic Socialist. He was an original critic of the North American Free Trade Agreement, NAFTA. He gets his campaign funding almost exclusively from small donors and has basically no ties to corporate America. It's not just that honesty is a standard in journalism and academics. It also happens to be much more persuasive if you want to reach readers who don't already agree with you. I know that I take Cohen's argument much more seriously because he's willing to engage the facts and respect the reader. Unfortunately, your piece does neither. Impressions and feelings and memories are your primary data. You present yourself as the wise, rational professor with access to knowledge and history and an understanding of Hillary Clinton your students lack. But this isn't about history or knowledge, or even the election or Hillary Clinton. It's about how much you identify with her. It isn't about Bernie Sanders. It's about how much you associate him with men of the left from your past. Your piece sets out to blame millennial feminists and show us what we did wrong in supporting Sanders, but it winds up illuminating your own failings, sadly not uncommon among certain Clinton supporters, especially those who chose to blame everyone and everything but Clinton for her loss. And then I go through these things. Ready? This is like my diagnosis. An over-identification with Clinton and her biography that eclipses appreciation of young women's lives and hardships and the political differences. Basing an argument solely on personal impressions, vague remembrances, mental and emotional associations, a condescending tone with occasional unconvincing gestures of respect and understanding for your younger sisters, misleading statements, omissions, falsehoods, or indisputable error, here related to Clinton's statements on super predators and warranting an immediate editorial correction. It is indisputable that Clinton has always and will always face sexism, misogyny, and double standards. But as a feminist philosopher, you are well positioned to see that attributing Clinton's so-called destruction to sexism alone infantilizes her, casts her as a mere victim, and denies her of agency. It ignores the hard choices, that was her book, she made as a rational actor in the realm of policy and politics, the words she chose, the people she surrounded herself with, the states she chose to visit or not visit. While the personal is, of course, political, it is worth considering how much your own personal identification with Clinton and your shared experiences prevent you from seeing her for what she was and is, a former senator, secretary of state, primary candidate, presidential nominee, and human being. Is it possible that feminists who weren't and aren't as enmeshed in the journey of Hillary Clinton might have a clearer, more rational, and less self-centered view of her and her of her policies, political activity, and campaign? Let me see, have I lost everyone? Oh no, great, you guys are still here. I would like to honor your feelings while at the same time being true to my own. Though I cannot speak on behalf of all my fellow millennials who supported Sanders during the primary, I know that when you find us responsible for Trump's presidency, it makes me feel like you don't actually see us as no less feminist than you, which is something she said in her piece. This in turn makes me feel like you are not being sincere or honest. It had always been my understanding that sisterhood requires open communication, honesty, and trust. And then I quote her. Few of the young women who support Sanders, as I know from decades of teaching courses on feminism, gender issues, and the social movements of the 60s, were aware of the living history, to borrow Hillary's phrase, that shaped the woman herself. Could these young women have based their preferences for Sanders on their own realities and living histories? Does it not make sense for women facing stagnant wages, crushing debt, curtailed opportunity to support the candidate who called for free higher education and a federal minimum wage of $15 an hour over the candidate who preferred a $12 minimum wage and had to be pushed to support the higher one? Sanders made Clinton more electable by moving her towards more popular positions. If her supporters didn't like seeing Sanders push her towards better policies, they needed to push Clinton themselves. I had assumed, perhaps falsely, that every feminist to the left of Sarah Palin sees a living wage as a feminist issue, given that 2/3 of minimum wage workers are women. But you didn't even address this significant difference. It's your prerogative to focus more on the gender dynamics and microaggressions that you perceive to be at play between Clinton and Sanders than a policy that will improve the lives of millions of people, the majority of whom are women. But that's a very entitled feminism. As the daughter of a second-wave boomer feminist, I have a deep appreciation of the subjugation that my mother and Hillary and their whole generation suffered and the advances they won for my generation. And as often happens, people who benefit from sacrifices made and struggles won before them take these gains for granted. But your discussion of sexism and the generational divide flatten women into a demographic pancake. I like that. Forgot about that. Women, like men, have different political outlooks and ideologies. In fact, my mother and many of her friends who include pioneering feminists in many fields supported Sanders, not Clinton, in the primary. Female professors, writers, lawyers, organizers, scientists, and doctors of a certain age, they of course identify with Clinton's struggles against sexism and applauded her bravery. But in 2016, their views were shaped by more than biography and demography. Their own, Clinton's or Sanders. They looked at what Sanders and Clinton were doing and offering and saying not just at who they related to. They saw Sanders as more progressive in terms of policy impacting women's lives. Had the two candidates been equal in their political orientations and agendas, they and I would surely have supported the one who could be our first female president. But recognizing the diminished resources and security my generation and their own aging generation faced from decades of unbridled greed by banks and megacorporations, they chose the candidate who called it like they saw it. But back to your distortions of Hillary Clinton's record. These young women weren't around when the GOP began a series of witch hunts that had never ended. They didn't witness the complicated story of how the 1994 crime bill came to be passed or the origins of the super predator label, not coined by Hillary and not referring to black youth, but rather to powerful older drug dealers. Here are Clinton's exact words. They are not just gangs of kids anymore. They are often the kinds of kids that are called super predators, no conscience, no empathy. We can talk about why they ended up that way, but first we have to bring them to heel. Jesus, bring them to heel. My plan here was to gently urge you to rethink your interpretation of Clinton's words by pointing to scholar and the New Jim Crow author, Michelle Alexander, who, in a piece for The Nation, describes Clinton's language as, quote, racially coded rhetoric to cast black children as animals, end quote. But as I reread Alexander's piece, I encountered once again the famous super predator quote in its context. It turns out I don't need to gracefully unpack your argument because you completely misrepresented what Clinton said. She was undoubtedly talking about kids. Forgive the exclamation points. I'm writing with such urgency because I know that an established scholar, writer, and professor such as yourself would be mortified to have made this mistake and will want to know as soon as possible. Sarah Jones, another millennial feminist, also caught this error. So you will want to fix this before more people point it out. Wait. Right, they were kids. Okay. Right, they said they were kids. Sorry. All right, back to your living history. As I watched Sanders enchant the crowds, it was something of a deja vu experience to see a charismatic male politician on stage telling women which issues are and aren't progressive. So something about the dynamic between Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders resonates with your personal living history with men on the left. And because of that, those who see Sanders as a progressive politician rather than as a stand-in for problematic men are the bad feminists who mean well but just don't get it. More living history. Quote, in many ways, the 1960s, the decade, was more male-centric than the 50s. It just privileged a different sort of male. Those men loved having us as uninhibited sexual partners and helpers in their political protests, but they never let us forget who was in charge of creating the platforms or who belonged in the political spotlight. That sounds unfair. I'm also not sure we can pin that on Sanders, but not for lack of effort on your part. Sanders was the perfect vehicle to revive political passion both among the older left, revitalized by being on the side of the quote-unquote revolution again, and a younger generation. Here was this guy who had lived through it all, who looked like a grandfather but spoke like a union organizer. I just feel the need to interject as the granddaughter of a union organizer that these two categories are not actually mutually exclusive. And that's true. You can be a grandparent and a union organizer. I quote again, for weeks during the early months of the primary, I listened to 19-year-olds and media pundits alike lavish praise on Bernie Sanders for his bold revolutionary message and scorn Hillary for being a part of the establishment. Which of Clinton's bold revolutionary messages might help to debunk these youngsters' fibs? Quote, he was the champion of the working class, conveniently ignoring that black and white women were members and that their issues were also working class issues. Why would you assume that working class means white and male to Sanders and his supporters? If you conflate working class with white working class, that's on you. Quote, but her long-standing commitment to universal health care, child care, paid sick leave, racial justice, the repeal of the Hyde Amendment, and narrowing the wage gap between working men and women apparently evaporated because she'd accepted well-paid invitations to speak at Goldman Sachs. Do you really want to bring up the Hyde Amendment, given that Clinton chose Tim Kaine as her running mate, even though he said he would not repeal the anti-choice Hyde Amendment? At the end of the piece, you indict the media for what you see is a double standard towards the two candidates' civil rights records. Quote, she says, they posted pictures of him being arrested at a protest against the University of Chicago's real estate investments, while making no mention of the work Hillary had done when she was the same age, investigating racist housing practices with Marion Wright Edelman. End quote of her. Okay. In a way, your final paragraph is perfection. It captures everything that is wrong with your piece and your analysis. It gets facts wrong by accident. It says something misleading on purpose, and it contradicts itself. For instance, you described the protest at which Sanders was arrested as one against the University of Chicago's real estate investments, when it was against segregation and education, against Willis wagons in particular, the aluminum trailers the Chicago Public School Superintendent Benjamin C. Willis placed in black neighborhoods to serve as classrooms. What you are referring to in your real estate reference occurred a year earlier when Bernie Sanders, then 20, served as one of the leaders of the first sit-in to take place in Chicago. And it was organized after the discovery that housing owned by the University of Chicago refused to rent to black students. It's actually really, this is cool. There's like really cool images of reports on this because they like went undercover. These kids, college kids, they like white students would ask for a room, and they were told yeah sure, and then black students would go for a room before them, and they were told there was no room. So I told them the wrong order. Basically, black students would look at a room, ask about it. They'd say no, we're full. Then white students would go in right after and be allowed to rent. Okay, back to what I was reading. That I had written. I'd like to think that trivializing this housing segregation as a real estate investment issue, can you believe that, was an honest mistake, but I don't see how it could be. Not a single article or source I found describes it in those terms. Yeah, a real estate investment issue? That's so ridiculous. But let's turn to Marian Wright Edelman, the founder and president of the Children's Defense Fund, and her relationship with Hillary Clinton. Clinton did indeed do incredibly important work for and with Wright Edelman on segregation and education, starting in 1972 when, as a first-year law student, Clinton investigated undercover the segregation of schools in Dothan, Alabama, and then as a chair of the board of the Children's Defense Fund. But in yet another example of something you cite which undermines your argument, this close relationship between Clinton and Wright Edelman cooled over political differences. The Clintons were both friends and colleagues of Marianne and her husband Peter Edelman, who would serve as an assistant secretary at the Department of Health and Human Services under the Clinton administration. But it was the welfare bill of 1996, which Bill Clinton signed and Hillary Clinton vocally and actively supported and endorsed, that would drive Peter to quit the administration and cause a fallout between the two couples. Wright Edelman urged Bill Clinton against signing the bill, writing in the Washington Post, "What a tragic irony it would be for this regressive attack on children and the poor to occur on your watch. For me, this is a defining moral litmus test for your presidency." And Washington Post quote. And when he signed it, she said, "President Clinton's signature on this pernicious bill makes a mockery of his pledge not to hurt children." Okay. To be fair, Wright Edelman did appear on behalf of Hillary Clinton in 2016 when the race was against Donald Trump. But given how much Clinton refers to her as a mentor, these appearances were few and far between. And Wright Edelman was certainly not stumping for Hillary in the 2008 election. In fact, when Wright Edelman was asked about Hillary Clinton during an interview in July 2007, 7 months into Clinton's primary run, she said, "Hillary Clinton is an old friend, but we are not friends in politics. We profoundly disagreed with the forms of the welfare reform bill, and we said so." You may be able to dismiss younger feminists, but surely you can't discount the words of one of Clinton's former mentors and the founder and president of one of the most legendary children's advocacy organizations. Despite your attachment to who Hillary Clinton used to be, or still could be, or could have been, or might have been, the real-life Hillary Clinton is not the Clinton you want her to be. A clear-eyed assessment of how and why Donald Trump became president is not just an intellectual exercise or an opportunity to cast blame or relitigate the primary. It is the only way to move forward and defeat Trumpism and prevent the next one from propping up. You claim that young feminists, quote, played a big role in the thin edge, not a landslide, as Trump would have us believe, that gave Trump the election, end quote. I'd urge you to consider what else could have made up for that thin edge that delivered the presidency to Trump. Campaigning in Wisconsin, spending less money on ads and more money on Latino voter outreach, which was requested and denied, registering some of the 600,000 black would-be voters in Florida, where she lost by 100,000 votes. Of course, getting behind this requires that you accept the idea, foreign to so many Clinton enthusiasts, that candidates need to win elections by earning support. It's not on the voters to woo and court the candidates. I'm with her. You and many feminists in your generation were, and that's fine. But many people, especially those who did not see themselves reflected in Hillary Clinton, including but not only young feminists, wanted to hear and believe. She's with me. She understands my life, and she will be my champion against crushing debt and corporations and endless war that degrade my life and future. But Clinton was not that candidate, and though we voted for her in large numbers in the general election, her vision, as we'd feared in the primary, was not bold enough to counter the faux populism of Donald Trump. Okay, almost done. Young women owe your generation of feminists much, but you owe us honesty, respect, and compassion. That's what many of us millennial feminists felt Hillary Clinton failed to provide. So you can defend Hillary Clinton's positions and praise her pragmatism and political expediency, but you can't pretend she hasn't changed, or that she and Sanders were equally progressive or establishment. Or you can, but you're fooling yourself. If you really believe the millennial feminists you target in your piece are no less feminist than your generation of feminists, then you owe it to yourself and us and our common future to figure out what we value and need in this very different and precarious world of rampant greed, shameful income inequality, militarism, and endless war, overt and covert. And when you figure that out, maybe you can share it with Hillary Clinton. Sincerely, Katie. There you go. Boom. That's it. All right. Okay, that's it. Yeah, that was good. If I do say so myself, I kind of miss writing. So, thanks guys for all the compliments about it. She didn't reply. I think she once replied to a tweet. She's like, I don't know what to say, Katie, or something, but yeah. 2017 helps, not 2016 helps. Connie Reed, you're here. Maria was asking if you are unable to come to the Thursday night streams. Whoops. Also thinking about Hillary Clinton's Laura Sullivan, massive part in wars and military action, especially in black, brown countries in the global south. Yes. But those people don't count because a lot of people are woke nationalists, in case you haven't heard. Play and repeat. As a fellow feminist, just wanted to give you a fiver for this amazing article. Very well said. Thanks for sharing. Thank you. Yeah, the reason I shared it is because it speaks to like a kind of self-obsessed, I think, pseudo-feminism that I think is present in the op-ed written by Ingrid. Oh, sorry, Connie. Just became a Patreon. Great. Is that headline in the thumbnail real? Yes, I showed it. Yeah, hold on one second. Thank you, Tony DeMeo. Connie, yes, sorry. Hope the crisis resolves ASAP. David Layerfield also writes that. Connie Reed, I'm sorry. I hope you feel better soon. Oh, that's so nice. I'm printing up that article right now so I can share a physical copy with my family. I wrote another one. I'm not going to read it, but let me just... This is another one that I thought was... Hold on. Katie Halper, Anya Kalik, Featherstone. Where was that? Feminism. What was that called? Unseen? They give it a... Hold on. Where is that one? I wrote it for Truth Out. Oh, here it is. Common Dreams. Common Dreams. Was that where it was? No, it was Truth Dig. Sorry. Truth Dig, yeah. Let me show you. I'm just going to link this because this also, I think, explains the kind of... Here. Could there be a class division in feminism? David Mizell writes, yeah, definitely. Tony writes, can't believe you pronounced my name correctly after Lee Camp and Jordan Sheridan messes it up. That's why, if you're supporting them, bring those shekels over here. I'm just kidding. Keep it there. How did they say it? Demio? How did they say it? Oh, that's so nice. I'm so touched that you noticed that I've been gone, and I hope that I will be back to bug you with too many questions. Yeah, of course. And you can always write me, DM me, or Patreon message me. She's already, you're already paid. I'm not saying that to like goad her into supporting me on Patreon. Awesome piece, Katie. Well worth the read. Thank you, Paolo. Here is the thing. I won't go into it, but I interviewed, let's see. I think for this piece, yeah, I spoke to Eliza Featherstone, Rania Kalik, Catherine Liu, who's great. Who else? I put the link in there, but who else? Wait, didn't I? That's weird. It keeps taking me to the same. Okay, that's very weird. I can't get to the last page of it. Very weird. I'll find it. Oh, wait. Ah, crap. Hold on. Let's see. Does this have it all? Catherine Liu. Yeah. Yeah. And then Yasmin Nair, Adriana Maestas. Yeah. And then a former state director in the Bernie Sanders campaign who chose to remain anonymous. But yeah. But that is, I'll put that link in because for whatever reason it doesn't. Okay, but let me just read you. Can I read you one part of this? Because I think this is good. This is good. If I do say so myself. And I can actually. All right, last thing I read, okay? I'm trying to explain. Yeah, it's neoliberal virtue signaling which shame people while destroying their neighborhoods fuels the right wing. That too, yeah. By the way, this is not a leopard print. It's like a flower thing. I do have on a leopard print. I had Lee Camp on, and I will have him on again, and I have to have Graham Elwood on, and I actually have to go on his show. So, okay. So, let me do, hold on. That's true. Janet Yellen dressed like Bernie at the inauguration, except she didn't have the funky mittens, yeah. Okay. Elwood is Spanish for the wood. All right, go for it, Katie. I will. All right, so here is. Did I analyze the other Ingrid enough? I hope so. We didn't have enough time to do the exegesis, the midrash. Okay, so Hillary Clinton does not represent all women and makes some feel powerless. Not my headline, but I actually kind of liked it. Okay. Ooh. And this is a little pull quote from me. Hillary Clinton isn't widely described as a hawk because of our sexist double standards, which expect that women be dovish. She's seen as a hawk because she is a hawk. Okay. Hillary Clinton is the first woman ever to get the presidential nomination from a major political party in the history of the United States. This is, of course, a historic and long overdue moment. For many feminists, the nomination is a pretty straightforward, unambiguous victory for women and cause for celebration. For others, however, it's complicated. Of course, no feminist would defend the uninterrupted male lineage of the presidency. For feminist critics of Clinton... Hold on one second. I'm being told to zoom in my camera. Mommy, I don't like this bedtime story. Monetizing Dissent wrote that. Hold on. Is my camera too... Maria, are you in the chat? You can write to me in the chat. She's texting me. Maybe she's not in. Do I need to zoom in? I'm confused. Oh, zoom in on the... Oh, I get it. The web page. Jeez Louise. Okay, now I get it. All right. Fine. Okay. Of course, no feminist would defend the uninterrupted male lineage of the presidency. For feminist critics of Clinton, the problem lies not in her gender, but in her track record, policies, and positions, many of which have had a less than liberating effect on women. As a feminist, I find myself... This is an important part, I think. I mean, it's kind of... I'm calling people self-obsessed, but whatever. I'm talking about something I wrote, so... As a feminist, I find myself moved from time to time when I think of how hard so many people have fought over the generations to make such a nomination possible. The undeniable sexism, misogyny, and double standards Clinton has faced, though not on a structural level, occasionally fill me with a sense of compassion, solidarity, get-it-girl camaraderie, and pride. Clinton's ascent shattered not only glass ceilings, but also the sexist but also the sexist notion that female politicians are different from male politicians on an essential level. A female politician can be just as smart, just as bold, and just as visionary as a male politician. She can be, and in Clinton's case is, just as Machiavellian, just as ruthless, just as hawkish, just as corporate, and just as neoliberal as her male counterparts. To be fair, because some of those traits are considered natural in men and unnatural in women, the threshold for women is much lower. The same forceful behavior that can earn men the label aggressive often earns women the label bitch. The same behavior that would be viewed as conniving in a female politician may be viewed as politics as usual in a man. But Clinton isn't widely described as a hawk because of our sexist double standards, which expect that women be dovish. She's seen as a hawk because she is a hawk. See Iraq, Libya. It's not sexist to criticize Clinton's coziness with governments that engage in routine human rights abuses. See Saudi Arabia, Israel, Honduras. It's honest, and it's not misogyny that makes people oppose her position. See Trans-Pacific Partnership, fracking, immigration, welfare reform. It was extremely demoralizing and frustrating to see how much of the media and political establishment hijacked feminism and trivialized genuine sexism as they sought to delegitimize valid criticism of Clinton. Much of what Bernie Sanders did, said, or gestured was framed as a symptom of the entitlement and sensitivity endemic of straight white men at best, or overt misogyny at worst. Perhaps the greatest or most egregious example of this was when a New York Times reporter asked Sanders, what do you say to women that say you staying in this race is sexist? That was Yamiche Alcindor, by the way. Our concerned fellow feminists diagnosed women who dared to defend the more feminist vision of Sanders or criticize the hawkishness of Clinton as having internalized misogyny. The truth is, some of Clinton's ideas are not at all feminist, and the mantle of feminism is shielding some of her most sexist policies. For some feminists, one extremely powerful woman's success is far more important than the countless women who will be and have been negatively impacted by Clinton's policies. If you'll permit the gnome dropping, I share some, though by no means all, of Chomsky's points on voting for the lesser evil. My fear of the neo-fascist Republican may trump my fear of a neoliberal, but can we be with her if she won't be pushed to be with us? The vast majority of people here and across the globe who suffer and reject mounting economic exploitation and endless war. My Clinton supporting friends continue to stand wholeheartedly behind their candidate, but what about the many women and feminists I've met or read about during primary season who were critical of Clinton up through the Democratic convention? I asked some of them to share their current thinking on the candidate, the convention, the nomination, whether they felt conflicted or moved by seeing a woman accepting the nomination, Clinton's pick for vice president, Tim Kaine, November and beyond. Okay. So there's that. Alrighty. Okay. So, yeah, you can read that one. It's good. And 906 viewers and 877 like. Relatively speaking, that's impressive ratio, but I think we can get this. Come on, guys. 30 more. Guys, like. Do they know how to like? You just got to hit the like. See, I actually kind of disagree with the you can take the girl, out of the gold water, but you can't take the gold water of the girl or something like that. Whatever, once a Republican, always a Republican when it comes to Hillary. No, I guess that's true, but I give people credit. Oh, wait, for changing. Hold on. Don't click the like button a second time. It will unlike. Ooh, that's good. Yeah, we'll have Nader on. I want to. Okay, let's see. Anything else? I tweeted stuff. You can look at my Twitter thread. I don't know why I'm reading. Oh, I guess because it's just me on. But I can kibitz. I don't have to read stuff. But let's see. Did no one respond? She didn't respond to us? I cannot believe it. Come on. Yeah. Let's every day. Let's just go through the worst things that she's done. Oh, by the way, Sayer Oki made a whopping $123,682 in 2017, $130,637 in 2018 from pay and benefits as the former principal of an elementary school, according to transparentcalifornia.com. Yeah. I mean, I feel bad. It's like her life won't be ruined, though, because she'll be fine, but it is pretty crappy, and it's so entitled. That's the thing. Like, I'm sorry, like, what kind of person are you to your students? You don't even quote them. All we know from this essay is that they don't see what you see, luckily. Luckily, they don't see what you see, even though you think that's what they should see. Anyway. All right, I think that's it. Any questions? Any questions? Like, because there is no love button. I like that. By the way, Yeah, this is what I think is important. Where is this? Truth be told, when she was the first lady, she was told to go back to the kitchen and stop voicing her opinions on healthcare reform. Those old enough to remember will confirm this. Yeah, that's so true. But I think that, like, we can acknowledge sexism and racism and not use that as a kind of, like, cudgel, or a shield, let's say, and not without using that as a shield to protect people from very deserved criticism, which is what the Clintons are so good at. Dan Marco writes, love the article. The pseudo woke are all over mainstream media. We love to hang out here with you. Thank you for the great work. Thanks. Next show is on Thursday. Yep. Whoops. Oh, where'd it go? Yeah, she was on the board of Walmart. Yeah, I liked Hillary. She got beat down and compromised by the system. Sure. Well, if you came on late, you can watch the rest of it because it's up on YouTube. Clarence, this is it. Clarence Thomas still faces racism, but he still ain't ish. Yes, Phil's point is very good, and I was actually thinking about that because I was thinking of how he called his confirmation hearing a high-tech lynching. Like, yeah, no. But yeah, it's true. That's the thing. And that's what we have to, like, remember. And it's totally logical, of course. Guys, 53 people hit like. Don't double hit because then you won't like it. It's totally logical for people to identify with other people's, like, for facing racism, sexism, homophobia. But again, it's like you can do both of those things at the same time. And when it's especially rich is when like in Clarence Thomas's case, he was against affirmative action. I mean, I can't think off the top of my head of all the cases that he's ruled on that had very racist outcomes, but that's kind of his shtick. That's his lane. So it's like especially ironic and rich and sordid and dark when people are hiding behind things that they are themselves benefiting from. So yeah, gotta call them out. Gotta keep them honest. Yeah, who hasn't liked the show? I'm coming for you. Just kidding. I can't. I would, but I can't. Yeah, if you hit twice, you unlike it. 29 more people, guys. That's not true. If I want people to read, you have to super chat me. I've read a lot of things, guys, tonight. Yeah, let's see. Oh, I can also, I can't believe how terrible that thing is. I hope we did it. Did we do justice? Did we do it justice? That reading? I don't know if we ever can. I kind of went, I was pretty cruel to, Ingrid in my tweets about her. What else do we have? Anything else that I need to make sure I show people? My hands are freezing. Oh, here, you guys are gonna like this. Hold on. You guys see that? I couldn't find it. I knew I had it. You see 1,000 likes at your end? Really? Oh, Bernie was coughing nonstop today. I'm worried. Yeah, if he gets that, he's got to stay home. Yay! We did it. Not me, us. Revolution. By the way, if you guys want to help, what is Rockfin? I don't even know what it is, but if you want to be, let's say you all subscribe, right? Tell your friends about it. Again, the Patreon, guys, just $1 a month. Just $1 a month, and you can help support it. And I like that idea because, again, we don't want to be dependent on YouTube monetization. Okay, so you can be on Rockfin and be on Patreon. And should I do Substack, Patreon? It's so overwhelming. Matt Lee. Okay, yeah, I will. I'll do mashups. If anyone wants to do mashups, send them to me, and I'll play them. Oh, you want to see a good mashup? And I'll credit you, obviously. But did you guys see the one who's really good? What was it? What was the thing that I did? I didn't do it. I shared it. Hold on. This is a really good mashup. Here it is. Oh my god. Okay. Oh yeah, Maria. What should I ask about Discord? You guys like Discord? What should I ask? Substack is good for writing, and then I could. Let's see. Josh Daniel writes, a little unrelated, but what do you think are some basic and fundamental books for leftist thought? Reading Manufacturing Consent right now. I mean, I would say, well, I haven't done any writing. That's what's annoying. I have to get back to it. What if people should write, oh, I know what I want to ask people. Can people write up their favorite quotes from the show and tweet them out and or make images of them? Because we got to get quotes out. Not my quotes. I mean, sure, do that. But I mean quotes from guests, right? Like, we have so many great guests. And they say such great things. And I want people who don't know about the show to see that. And, just like write them up on a little thing. You can do them on Canva. Canva, you should sponsor me. You can join free. You can do things for free on Canva without buying a thing, an account. Okay, but leftist books, I would say it depends. Yeah, The People Know. That's a great book by Thomas Rigg. Actually, you know what I think one of the best things is? Listen Liberal. Read that first. I would read that before The People Know. I would read Listen Liberal. It's such a good book. And it explains so much. And it's basically one of the things that's helpful and that explains, which is really basic, is that it's not that Dems can't do the things they want to do. It's that they don't want to do those things. And that's incredibly important and helpful. I would also say Hate Inc., although, a lot of people would say my co-host Matt Taibbi isn't left. And he's not as ideological as like I am, but Hate Inc. is great. All of his books are great. But yeah, Manufacturing Consent, Hate Inc. is kind of takes up the thing about the media bias that Manufacturing Consent does. Noam Chomsky likes the book. Levon Huey says, I just now pressed like. The PS4 version of YouTube is telling me the show was streamed, not streaming. Uh-oh. You see, guys, this is why you've got to support on Patreon. Pink Flamingo writes, hello, Katie. I thought it would be cool if you invited Ad Rock, Beastie Boy, for some light politico de-jerk. De-jerk? Yeah, sure. If anyone knows him as that Adam, what's his name? You guys, Diamond, speaking of that last name, did you see Dustin Diamond died? No, Matt doesn't. Yeah, no, he's not. Oh, Killing Hope by William Blum. Yes, Adam Horowitz. But there's a Mike Diamond. Who's the Diamond in that band? The band in the Beastie Boys. Did you see Dustin Diamond died? Is that his name? Screech. Yeah, he was so young. Guerrilla Tactics by Che Guevara. Matt Taibbi. Yeah. David Harvey. Yes, David Harvey. Wait, is he the one who? Wait, I may have to wait, no, David Harvey is not canceled. When I say canceled, it has nothing to do with anything political or Me Too. No, David Harvey's good. David Harvey's good. There's another historian, similar name. He's got to apologize to me for something. Bullshit Jobs by David Graeber. R.I.P. David Graeber. Michael Parenti. I've had on Christian, of course. Read Christian's books. Those are good. What else? What else do people like? Lame earn my like. I'm not a bot. Hedges books. I've had Hedges on. Marx. No, he identifies as left, Matt, but he's more of a, I don't know. Oh, The Reactionary Mind by Corey Robin, who I had on. Yeah, Chomsky, yeah. Hate Inc. is great. I should read it and ask, Gerald Horne. Foucault, that's kind of hard, but yeah. Okay, you like to create memes? You don't have to be on Twitter. You're on Instagram? Or just, email me. I guess I need a show Instagram, but I don't know. Post it in the Garden Gnome. Post it in the comments on YouTube. Would you guys? Oh, nickel and dime. Yeah, that's good. People, Prejudential. Yes, by Margaret Kimberly. We had her on the other day. Norman Finkelstein. I gotta have him on. I think Foucault is kind of hard, honestly. That's hilarious. Are you there, God? It's me, Margaret. That is really good. You can't put images in the comments. Yeah, but couldn't Garden Gnome, wherever he or she posts it, link to it? Do you know what I'm saying? How is that doable? Like, where do you do them, by the way? Where do you do them? Yeah, you do. The Dispossessed. Emma and Anna should write a book. Anwar Sheikh. Saki Bombs. Saki Bomb says you can't question women, especially. Yeah, you guys saw our Saki Bombs, right? Send me your Saki Bombs because, oh yeah, the Management of Savagery is great. I would love to get Bob Dylan on. How did Screech die? Jesus. Lung cancer, huh? Yanis Varoufakis, yeah. Yeah, Katie Halper Book Club. So what should that be? Could that be a Patreon only thing? I don't mean to be whatever, but we kind of have to do that. How about, should that be a Patreon only thing? We could do Patreon only Discord. Do people like Discord? The Discord? Yeah, I think, yeah, I don't want to start any beef, but I'll just say there is an historian who, yeah. If he tries to, what is Robin, what's her name say? Can I repair the racism I committed against you or something? He wasn't racist against me, obviously. But you know what? I'm not going to get into it. Oh yeah, Rockfin. Can I do Patreon and Rockfin? I think Foucault is kind of hard. I mean, not hard. It takes a lot of... Yeah, I'm going to write a book, guys. Don't worry. Yeah, Zinn is good. Confessions of an Economic Hitman. Okay, do you have my email, Garden Gnome? Oh, now, before it was you like memes, but you're not on Twitter. Now it's if I make something, I will email them. Okay. Don't blame it on not being on Twitter. Anyway, you know, I made little cute things. I did one with Shuja. Yeah. Okay, so did I tell you who's on Thursday? Lady Bunny, who's great. And Joshua Podash, who's also a great journalist. I shouldn't say also a great journalist because Lady Bunny is not a journalist. But yeah. What else? You know what I have to have on again is I can't remember who. Let's see what else. Okay, so you're down with Discord, so what do we do? Oh, you made one? Where is it? Garden Gnome already made one. All right, look, if you need a way to get it to me, I need an email that's, should I just, you know what, I'm going to make an email right now. That's a Katie, watch this, guys. I don't think I have a Katie Halper show on, but I'm going to do it right now. Let's see if I can do it. Oh, thanks, guys. I got some new patrons. Wow, that's awesome. Thank you, guys. Wow. I will not let you down. And in fact, I'm going to set up a thing right now. This is how little I'm going to let you down. I'm going to set up a Katie Halper show. Add another account. Let's see. Create account. It's going to take too long. You know what? Look, I will make... You know what? What the hell? You can email katierosehalper@gmail.com. There, I did it. I said it. katierosehalper. katierosehalper@gmail.com. Okay, katierosehalper@gmail.com. Okay, Garden Gnome? Okay, I'll bring back Shama. I will. She was great, right? All right. Well, okay. So, I think that's it, right? Guy Shaw, I love our relationship. Me too. Prison Memoirs, Alexander Berkman. Okay, yeah. Turn on tune, be the change. Anarchists who don't like Mao confuse me. Yeah. It's so cold. Interesting. SF Chronicle is obviously on board with her. Willie Brown, who has a column in this paper, trashes Bernie on the regular. Oh, is that true? I'll call him out. Yeah, my middle name is Rose. So, I'll do a Katie, but I didn't have time to set it up. And for all I know, when I do the Katie Halper show, it's already. So, yeah. Our parasocial relationship with Katie Halper. Yeah. That is the nice thing about a YouTube live stream. It's very parasocial. Yeah, I did mention that Dustin Diamond died. It's very parasocial in real time, which a podcast can't be. If you guys know anyone who likes podcasts and not video, post the email link in show notes later. No, it's just Katie. I just told you it's katierosehalper@gmail.com. You know, you can also listen to these as podcasts. So make sure you tell your friends about this as a podcast. And you probably know I release little clips. So some people don't like watching the whole thing. I will, oh, it's true. SF Chronicle also exposed, also smeared Shai Buttar. Hal Holbrook, who played Deep Throat, died. Oh, that's sad. When? Dustin Diamond is, and then, let's see. Yeah, Mark Paul Gosselaar says Saved by the Bellcast is pretty shocked over Dustin Diamond's death. Yeah. The 46-year-old actor spoke about Diamond, who died on Monday at age 44, 3 weeks after being diagnosed with cancer. Jesus. During Tuesday's episode of the Tamron Hall Show, sharing that he and his castmates are pretty shocked over the loss. It's always tough when someone passes away. I think it's even more so when the individual is someone you know and the age of Dustin. It was only a few weeks ago that we heard his diagnosis, and for it to happen so quickly is shocking. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. Wait. The star who played Zach Morris in the original NBC show and is currently reprising the role in the Peacock reboot. There's a Peacock. Also spoke about how the cast had drifted apart once the series ended in the 90s. Wow. That's very sad. Everyone's, yeah, God. Did he do, what happened to him? He he would turn, I don't remember. Anyway, for next time, I'll tell you what happened to him. But that is really sad. He was feeling out of sorts. Okay, so his manager said that he'd been feeling out of sorts and had a lump on his neck that he was ignoring before he was diagnosed with stage 4 small cell carcinoma, cancer that commonly occurs in lungs, but can also manifest in the prostate or gastrointestinal tract. I'm reading a People, by the way, so it's may not be the best medical in-depth analysis, but let's see, I'll find out. Snorky Y2K says, Katie, your words are powerful. Please don't ask President Biden to point to his elbow. We don't want him to lift his leg to point to it and fall. Yeah, you can't ignore those lumps. That's actually very true. Let's see. He was afraid of the public attention if he went to the hospital, but finally his girlfriend took him and the doctors confirmed it was cancer. Wow. Paul adds that Diamond, who was best known for playing Samuel Screech Powers on the original Saved by the Bell, tried his best to remain positive while undergoing treatment. Of course, he was scared, but he tried to find the humor in it. He did chemo. He tried everything possible, but it didn't work. Dustin tried to be as positive as he could throughout everything. That's who he was, but he was scared. He didn't want to die. That's so sad. My God. His rep told people in that time it managed to spread rapidly throughout his system. The only mercy it exhibited was its sharp and swift execution. Dustin did not suffer. He did not have to lie submerged in pain. For that, we are grateful. Wow. He did not reprise his role for the Peacock reboot of the series, which debuted its first season in November 2020. I did not know that they had that. All right. Well, that's sad. Historian, you're disappointed in Katie? What? Okay, so guys, this has been very fun. Thank you so much. If you know people who like podcasts and not video, then tell them to listen to the podcast. I love Saved by the Bell, actually. And some people, oh my God, Phil, I'm so sorry. Your aunt died of that demon this morning. Sorry. Hope your family is doing okay. As okay as possible. But condolences. Sorry, parasocialite. His dad has it too. Yeah. Holbrook was 95. That's a good life. Topic idea. The bombing of that block in Nashville, Tennessee in December and no media coverage, just forgotten it. Wait, which block? Sorry to everyone who's... Okay, my schedule, by the way, is... Oh, they have this vaccine, a lung cancer vaccine? Wow, how does that work? The next thing will be Thursday at 7 p.m. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Hold on one second. Cuba has a lung cancer vaccine. Yeah. And I can't read the rest of that article. I have to get my ad blocker on. We'll see. Anyway, but I should end this because, you know, we've been going a while. This is an extra show. And, yeah. It also invented the meningitis vaccine, I believe. Or treatment. The Christmas bombing. I don't know about this. Okay, I'll look into it. When was this? Like, what decade are we talking about? Yeah, and sorry to, Parasocial. I hope your dad's treatment goes well. All right. Well, guys, we will see you, Thursday. And, last year? I don't know about this. Okay, I'll look into it. See you Thursday. Subscribe, like, share. And a month ago. Okay, I'll look into it. You know the Carnation Revolution in Portugal? I need to get more historians on. All right. Okay. See you guys soon. Thank you all. And thank you so much for the Patreon. supporters. Thank you. Patreon.com/The Katie Halper Show. Okay.